Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve son yakışar mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve son yakışar mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel. Abi şimdi de
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen.
Ya şimdi vardı senin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Anneni de aldın dur.
Abi ben çekemem vardı, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here, because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve son yakışar mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve son yakışar mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel. Abi şimdi de
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen.
Ya şimdi vardı senin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Anneni de aldın dur.
Abi ben çekemem vardı, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here, because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve son yakışar mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve son yakışar mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel. Abi şimdi de
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen.
Ya şimdi vardı senin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Anneni de aldın dur.
Abi ben çekemem vardı, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here, because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve son yakışar mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve son yakışar mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel.
Açmıyorum.
Ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen.
Ya şimdi neredeyse başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldım dur.
Abi ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here, because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya.
Açmıyorum.
Ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen.
Ya şimdi neredeyse başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldım dur.
Abi ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here, because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler.
Hello everyone and welcome to Always On Romania Monthly Finals Season 1, Day Number 1. We had Polish edition end yesterday, of course, with the Moneymakers becoming your champions, and now we're entering in 2 more days of gameplay coming your way to see who will be crowned the champions of the Romanian region. My name is Maxman, today going to be joined again by the one and only amazing DK to break down all of this amazing action we're going to be witnessing today and of course tomorrow. DK, how you doing, my man? What's going on? What's popping?
Well, many things. I'm pretty excited to be here, as we've already seen. Yesterday and the day before was quite exciting with what the teams have been bringing in. I'm hoping to see Romania try and push that even further than that, right? Try and take it above and beyond. And I believe that we might potentially maybe see that based on what we've been seeing come through from that semi-final so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy stuff coming into the semi-finals. But you know what? I have a few names, DK. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of cracked. We do have some international level teams in this lobby today against a lot of players and teams that I really do not know much of, if anything at all. I think DK, unfortunately, to be brutally honest, and I'm maybe spoilers right now are coming out, but I think we may have another moneymaker situation on our hands, because if I'm looking at our team at the very bottom, called the Vicious, which you might know as like a pretty big org in PUBG Mobile Esports, and you can see them here also on this graphic in 16th place, which I do not believe they're going to stay there for long. We have Dorin, we have Redox, we have Icy, we have Koa77. DK, can we give a trophy before any game is played?
That's a good question. Now we'll have to consult the rules to see what it says. But yeah, I can tell you it's going to be quite the day, right? I mean, so the name The Vicious also already kind of speaks for itself, right? As you've mentioned, the players that are in those squads as well. But aside from that, we've been looking at some monsters come through from the semifinals, right? We had Team Moldova, the team there next to number 11. They came in with 57 eliminations in the semifinals.
Sheesh.
But then there was, there were some pretty big numbers that we saw coming in across the board, right? There's another team that also performed quite crazily. I don't know if they are, I don't see their name on the screen here, so maybe they are playing under a different name now. We don't know, but we'll find out. But there's been some pretty insane performances that we've had. And I want to see all of that really now come onto the battlefield, right? As we've seen in the Poland edition, right? The first day was very exciting, and then it took a little bit of a turn as we entered our second day. So I want to see what the feels will be here for today, right? Coming into the first match, as we know, we already saw that map rotation. We know what we are stepping into. What we don't know is how these teams are going to be stepping out onto the battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, anything could really happen going into especially tomorrow's matches, even though we could have a team create a massive lead in day one, which is what we saw back in Polish edition, right, DK, with the addition of Moneymakers. They had a massive lead, and you know what? GR Esports gave them a fair run for their money. They almost were able to catch up, but unfortunately the point lead was just too big in those last two matches going into Miramar, so they couldn't really make it happen for themselves. But you know what? It goes to show you should not rest on your laurels, even if you have that big of a start, just like Moneymakers on day number one. But I'm talking about teams. I'm talking mostly about the prestige of some of these names. I really like what you're doing here, DK, going more about the results of these teams in the previous stages. But I'm going to go and do it again about another team, and that is going to be EBL Esports, which I'm very excited to see how they're going to perform in this lobby, because they have Black, which is a renowned player from back in the day, if that is the Black I'm thinking about. And not only him, you also have Kimi, which Kimi is just a player that I remember 3-4 years ago back in PMPL EU just came out of nowhere as one of the top dogs from Romania, and has been kind of nowhere to be seen in recent years, really, in PUBG Mobile Esports. At least I've not seen him in the bigger echelon tournaments, right? So I'm intrigued to see how Kim has evolved over the years, if he's still going to be able to bring that S+ tier gameplay here, DK, because if he can do so, EBL Esports may be able to put up a little bit of competition against the Vicious in these matches.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite interesting. I mean, so we're currently just, I think, theory crafting, right? Because you know how some of the players can perform as individuals and in squads as a collective. And I'm looking at the points that we've been seeing being secured in the semifinals itself. So I want to see if there's going to be like a bit of a balance in between the two, right? The players that we know can perform like absolute goats coming in here and then stepping on the battlefield, showing us what they can do. Unfortunately, though, for today, we don't have that double dose of flight paths coming through, but we are going to be making our way up in the northern reaches of this lovely map. So, Max, I think this is going to be an interesting start to, well, the proceedings here.
Well, especially no double planes, right? And like what we had in Poland edition, we did have 2 double planes in the 2 single Rondo games we did have on day 1 and day 2. Here, single plane up north, as you just stated already, is going to be here from Mayran all over to the northern eastern edge of Bailey. So hopefully, unlike in the Polish edition, we're not going to have a very southern phase 1 circle pop and keeps on going south every single time. Otherwise, this is just going to be horrendous for everyone involved. And it is indeed going to be a northern western phase 1 circle, going to be pretty decent to work around. But man, Test Track and Neox Factory completely overwhelmed with teams. And, of course, that tends to happen quite a bit, DK, because we do have those recall towers, so might as well take a little bit of early game risk to maybe, extend your point lead in the early stages of this match.
Yeah. One thing that I also noticed, right, if you look at slot number 2, 8, and 13, they all say NASA.
Oh.
So this is going to be a fun day, Max. It's going to be such a fun day. We've got NASA versus NASA, potentially. That'd be super interesting to see how that's going to go down. But, yeah, just a curious few names that we have on the screen here. These shots already starting to fly on down is BLL. He's going to be feeling a lot of that heat. Dennis and Rexo already getting picked up. Now it's up to Robbie to see if they can maybe have a few shots flying through over here. As the flash comes in, beautiful reaction there. I mean, those trigger fingers really working hard today.
Yep, really working nicely here with the AUG. Good stuff from Robbie, trying to make his way back to his teammates, possibly to get forward or revive. Okay, we're getting someone just crashing his bike in the fields, in the open section of Rondo. We'll be able to pick it back up and get back onto the move. But yeah, a lot of early game eliminations. And as I said, mainly because of the recall towers, they're going to be trying their very best to extend that lead early on. But Christian was taken out early. The recall tower test track is going to be actually not in test track. It is a little bit deeper in the Ox factory itself. So even if you do win your fight over here, it means you've got to cross the road. The open area is not going to be an easy thing to execute for Team Rain. But oh my goodness, Blanco here also doing some work for his squad. And so many great shots as Robbie also able to find himself Marco. So many eliminations across the board. And here we go, I believe. We almost got a team squad wipe here on BLLL. Down to just a single player, which is going to be more than enough to go for the recall. But going out early in a Rondo game is just giving a massive opportunity here, DK, right? For other teams to just extend a lead that you just cannot really recuperate on an Erangel or a Miramar.
Yeah, that is something that I'll be keeping a very close eye on to see if anything is going to come through from that, of course. Romanian Evolution also now just trying to make their way through the lovely test track here. Rain just up ahead. Are they going to come raining down with a few utilities? It seems like that is going to be the approach here. Just trying to clear a bit of a way as they try to path their way forward. But Robbie, quick reaction here alongside Sakalu. There we go. Got the name right. Eventually, as the shots now continue to fly on in. But I like this, Max, because it's so sweaty right out of the gate. But of course, that's kind of what happens on Rondo.
It's just how it goes. The recall towers really changed the whole mindset of these players, of these teams going into these battlegrounds. Unlike, again, some Miramars or Erangel games. So here, Team Rain, already 4 eliminations. Only map that could possibly happen here in these kind of hot drops. And yet, they're still looking for more. They have a team possibly looking to fight as they push up the staircase. Got himself an S12K and an M4 loadout. Couldn't be asking for better here of an entry point weapon with the S12K. They slow down a little bit. This smoke, really good smoke. I don't believe this is from Team Rain. I believe it's from their enemies, which is just going to be slowing down their ascent, denying information away, and giving also time maybe for Evo to maybe get some more utility, loot up the entire higher portion of this building. And you can see a few nades trying to come out. The moment they find that one knock or decent damage, they're going to try and full sender here, because otherwise they're just going to get camped and they're not even in a circle. So you don't really have an infinite amount of time. You do have to try and wrap this up eventually. As Team Rain, again, just hesitant on, do we push it? Do we leave? But if we leave, we might get backstabbed. Very hesitant at this point in time.
I mean, rightly so. You don't want to risk it too much just yet. And they still have the full team here, but I'm not quite sure if all 4 of them are within this compound or if they've sent that extra player out to the recall station. I mean, it seems like that is probably what they've done here, as we can only spot 2 of the players currently just holding onto the building. But it is going to be Romanian Evolution also trying to find a bit of a position here, looking for the angles. That feed's still going pretty crazy, as we already have lost 1 team so far. And aside from that, Max, no crazy major other knocks that have been able to find their way in just yet. But for the time being, this track is just going to be a test of patience, I guess.
Oh, the nade. No, you see, these smokes are really good, man. They're really stopping you from hitting those pinpoint accurate pieces of utility. But how many smoke? They still, so 3 grenades. I'm trying to count. So I didn't see any more smokes. I think that's the final smoke, meaning after that smoke dissipates, maybe we're going to have a full-on push happening up the staircase. Though we're going into the Ox factory itself. Here we go. We're going to also be having a fight. It's going to be on back V2 here in this engagement versus, I'm trying to see the team logo. Is that going to be, I didn't have time to see. It's too quick. Too quick for me. But Romanian Evolution also, there we go. The smoke did dissipate, meaning the fight will come to fruition eventually. But yeah, it's going to be NASA. One of the NASAs here, DK, are fighting on back V2. The elevation's going to be used up by on back V2. They've got some rooftops under control. He pushes up as the nade is going to be in hand. He swaps over to, what? How does he not get eliminated instantly? It's going to be a 1-on-1 trade-off, but here NASA are going to be taking 2 heavy casualties. Down to Spicy, down to Zisuf. And now the entire squad of NASA are hoping to be able to pull off these recalls. But on back V2 should not be giving them that opportunity to do so. They are going to be pushing solo here. Frost, as his teammate, has an off angle, and it will be working dividends as Blanco will be picking that one up.
I mean, a lot of carnage here. We love to see it. But the big question is, will we see that remaining players' number bounce back up again as those recalls could be coming through momentarily? But especially looking at NASA Gaming, right? They want to try and utilize that final player to bring the rest of the squad back before the timer runs out. Not much, though, has changed here over in towards Test Track as we still find ourselves in a bit of a standoff. Patiently waiting to see where this one is going to go and how it's going to pan out. It does seem like Robbie is very active on the edge here. Lulin also, I like the angles here, Max. Trying to get that slight bit of an advantage, trying to gather as much information as they can. They're still looking pretty tough.
Actually, I want to bring up a topic to you, which is, I'm surprised Romanian Evolutions, DK, aren't going a little bit more aggro, because you can see they don't have their entire team here. Some of their teammates are far away to the western side of this fight. Meaning, even if they do lose 2 players, they should be able to get an easy recall for the entire team. So, there's a very small risk here, in my opinion. I don't know why they're so hesitant. It's only 2 eliminations, 2, you're not giving away, like, 10 points to a team out of nowhere. So, yeah, I want to see them try and get involved, try and send it on this fight onto Romanian Evolution. There's 2 players still camping the higher portion of this one as the circle does shift. Relatively central, a little bit more further down southwest towards Laotin. And this time around, we'll see who will be able to move on in. We already have 1 team in there, maybe joined up by 2 other squads. There is going to be an EMP zone very soon, and cars are going to be fully deactivated. But Team Rain, finally, the fight happening on the left side of your screen. They are going to be committing to the engage. A few shots will be connecting left, right, and center. But again, it's slowed down significantly, but they do get themselves some more eliminations, up to 6 now, as they do start thinking about what's the next move, what we do next.
Well, an interesting thing that I just noticed as well, right? If you look at that player up in the top of the screen and the one on the floor here, not the player that we're looking at, right? The player up there in the corner and the one over on the side. They both have the same name as well, Max.
Oh, this is very
both
confusing.
are called Robbie with 2 eyes. Right,
Oh.
just on opposing sides. It's like, well, this is an interesting day. We've got 3 NASA teams and 2 players with the same name in the same fight, looking to contest against each other. But I have to agree with you, I don't quite know why they are so hesitant to rotate out of that test track position. I mean, maybe they're trying to accomplish something there. We do see at least one of the players there from Romanian Evolution a little bit further off towards the southern side, so they do have that additional bit of backup. And here we go. It does seem like the Evolution has evolved this fight to push on forward and get the wipe. Now comes the hard work. Now they got to rotate all the way back in towards that zone. As we did see, it was over a kilometer of travel that they have to work through now. But jumping right back into another fight as NASA Esports are going to be holding up a bit of a contentious position here. They do have some company trying to take care of the whole situation. But is it going to work out for them? Because, I mean, we do see them all the way over on towards this western side of the zone.
Could be working out. But by the way, I do want to bring attention to the fact that, indeed, Rain did get the full recall. They're back as a full squad, 6 eliminations. So even highlighting even more the point, right, DK, of they could have just went for it and got the recall regardless. So there was just a lot of time wasted that you could have taken, fully used for yourself to maybe gain better positions in the circle, more scouting, more resources for your players that just got recalled. Because, of course, when you recall yourself, you're very low in terms of loot. So yeah, I don't know. This is something that I think that these players should be thinking about on Rondo. I know it's a very specific map that's very different from your 2 other main esports battlegrounds, but something to think of moving forward. Here we go, though, looking on other fights. We now have BLL. Few little shots. Oh, I love that sound. We talked about it. That skin, DK. Music to our ears. Money all over the place. As just taking a few shots here. Rexo not going to be able to really get much value out of it. But you know what? It's just some suppressing fire, scaring teams away, making it known that there is a player in this position. He's trying to regroup. They've got 0 eliminations so far. So they are definitely taking the slow approach, not getting involved in these weird, wacky, slow early game hot drops on Rondo. They are just going for the slow, steady approach and hoping to make it very, very far in this match.
I am noticing that the Romanian Evolution is pushing up on another fight out on the edge of the blue as well. I'm not quite sure what their approach is. Probably they're just trying to play a little bit of cleanup as we saw them moving up. But up comes Narvalo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Narvalo here? Wait a minute. He's not on the list. I didn't see him on my list of players on the team. Why is Narvalo playing? Wait a minute. Huh? Okay. So this is even worse, actually, for the other teams. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's just a whole bag of surprises here that we have tonight. So, Vicious the Vicious. We are now patiently waiting to see how they're going to look to set the performance here. They've got one elimination up. Of course, a quick replay. A little bit of the fights that we had happening back up towards that test track area. Ooh, some quick shots all over the place. But the Vicious, though, Max, nice position that they have. Curious to see how they're going to look to utilize that and whether or not anybody's going to try and push up. We do see quite a few teams in the surrounding area, but for the time being, the southeastern edge of the zone is going to be relatively quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the fact that they're not in the city itself, right? They're on the outskirts. And being in the city is just going to be hectic if you want to transition away from it, which I think if the circle does move away or even just centers up, you're going to be in a really, really bad scenario. So we'll have to see how things like maybe BLL are going to have to deal with that future transition in this game. NASA Esports, though, looking out onto the western side. Actually, ooh, I don't know if I like it or not. They have this 2-2 split across the city. I think that's very risky because at any point in time, someone can just sneak up on you or just fully crash your position. And your forces are going to be split massively. So I'm not a massive fan of it, especially keep in mind that we are going to have the blue zone. Sorry, not the blue zone. The recall towers being deactivated relatively soon. So it's, yeah, in my opinion, an unnecessary risk we're seeing being taken by NASA Esports. But they're giving it a fair shot. We'll see if they can become the true cartel of the city and take it right to the bank. As now 15 teams alive, still 58 players, so things are still relatively slow. And I'm just realizing Team Baby there behind us is also an old team that was in PUBG Mobile Esports a few years ago. But the roster does look significantly different from back then. But fun to see. This is the tournament of callbacks, DK. I'll tell you that much. It's taking me through history lane. And it feels weird. I feel like I'm back in, what, 2022? 2023? It's weird.
Yeah, a little bit of a throwback, right? Back to the days. Well, those were the days, Max, when... I remember when I was a young lad, I saw these teams doing things.
Oh, yes.
You know, let's see what they're going to be doing today. Max, there's so much opportunity available to everybody. Interesting thing as you were talking about that split, right? Coming through from NASA, Flux and Salam. Of course, they do hold over onto the eastern side of the city. But now the hard and challenging part comes for the other half of the squad, right? How are they going to move up? Because BLL is waiting just there alongside them. And I'm not really seeing Flux and Salam putting in any crazy effort to try and kind of assist their teammates with a potential rotation securely up in towards the next zone. But it doesn't seem like BLL is really spotting out too much of those players. We can see those rotations coming up though, but up in the north, right here on screen, it is just chaos, mayhem, and carnage as the shots fly on through here. Ooh, the Romanian squad though, feeling a lot of that pressure as they try to move up. But I mean, they were hugging the blue for a good while.
Yeah, definitely a long portion of that game has been sent on the edge of the circle. Did you see that shot from Rares, man? That was some crazy accurate shots. Right away, headshot into the moving car, getting himself that knock into a flush right after. Really good execution. On the other side, Team Baby again. The lads in the building. Not going to be budging too much for now, but we are going to get to that breaking point. The fact that we still have 14 teams alive on Phase 4... that's a very high amount, and I'm telling you, it is not going to remain as 14 by the time we go into Circle 5. Things are going to get dicey and desperate for these guys, so you better start to get ready because fights are definitely coming your way. EBL, now on their side of things, over to the east side, slowly starting to push into the city, it seems, but I would say this position is great. You don't have to go any deeper. You're on the outskirts of the city, meaning if you have to go deep in the city, you're already there. It's an easy transition point. If you have to leave the city, you are one of the first few teams that can leave this town pretty much instantly. So this is one of the best positions in the circle. I wouldn't give it for anything in the world. And hopefully they can see the value in such a strong position.
Center zone is prime real estate at this point. But speaking about prime real estate, there's still quite a few teams that have to find that next position to move in towards. Of course, the feed is still going absolutely crazy, as there are so many engagements happening across the board. Spicy also just now managing to kind of regroup with the rest of the team as they've now taken up the northern side of the city area here. The other NASA team, it does seem like they've at least somewhat condensed their position, going for a 3-1 split. I'm not quite sure how that is going to work out in a situation like this, like the city itself, as if something happens to Bling, well, That's all they need to have a full send coming their way. Doran, in the meantime, is going to be lighting it up as that feed just starts to pop on off. And this is the Vicious now starting to really build up a lot of momentum here, Max.
Yep, there we go, the Vicious. I mean, we knew it was just a matter of time. Okay, we peaked in the future, and we just saw bright things indeed in the Vicious's future. As Dorian just spraying it down, spraying and praying. Redox, Krillins, Dorian going himself 2, Icy going himself 1, which I believe Icy is the Icy that was previously on S2G, not so long ago. So this is just a storied roster, circle shifting. Again, still have a portion of that city of Jowlin in play, which is going to be incredibly hectic, I would say, to try and make that execution to leave if it does shift away once more. But the city is going to be a wild place to be indeed. Vicious go for that spread still. Got to start thinking about the next step. Where are we going to be headed next? Are we going to try and just go into the city? Are we going to play the more controlling northern side position, known the Vicious, and what they tend to like to do in their own tournaments? I think that is going to be their approach. But in the city, as I said, is going to get hectic here, DK. The nades coming out from Bling. Trying to connect, doesn't do any damage, unfortunately, but BLL now know they have to take fight. And Nassau just fully surrounding this building. No escape unless you are able to eliminate the entire squad as a duo.
Very interesting dynamic that we see happening over here. This gives me a lot of Los Leones vibes, right? The city over here. A little bit, yeah. A few hills just up ahead of them. So curious as to how they'll be able to get themselves out of this one. But I like this approach coming through from Bling, being absolutely relentless, just firing shots off in every direction. But Salam and the rest of the team, I would love to see a little bit more of a tightening up coming through on this position. I mean, I can see what they're doing, trying to keep their foot securely positioned in that zone as well. But for BLL, things are not looking all too great. They're going to have to find a way to rotate either and push up towards Bling or turn around and find another way to sneak their way up into a zone. But Dennis, Max, this is going to be a super tough spot to find yourself in.
Yep, it's not going to be easy for them to work around. Here we go. BLL, Dennis trying to make his way out. I would say just deny to Blue at that point. Yeah, there's no way you survive that. But he still gets picked off. He tried to deny and he couldn't even do that, unfortunately. But that's going to be great for NASA. Up to 3 eliminations. Now they can put their focus over onto Team Rain that did park themselves between the side of NASA and the circle itself. So, meaning they're going to be in the gatekeeping side of things. And I think NASA understand this is happening. They just don't see any value in taking this fight. It's just way too risky. A lot of unknown factors in this fight. So they're going to be shifting wider to the western side, taking a fight versus another Team NASA, which definitely not going to get confusing very quickly. We'll have to see how that potentially runs out, as Vicious are still popping off. They're up to 9 eliminations, just shy of double digits. I think they're going to get it very soon. So Vicious, I know this is the big team we keep talking about, but there's a reason for it, because these guys are bloody cracked.
Yep. There's a reason why they are called what they are called, so we'll see soon enough how this one is going to pan out for the rest of the lobby. Team Moldova, also one of those strong performers coming through from the semi-finals. Currently only starting off this match with a 3-piece, and they do have those 3 eliminations up as well. So there's quite a bit of pressure now remaining for the duo here. But again, we do see quite a bit of a split here, right? Between Sansanich and Retro. Why? That's a good question. All the way over on towards the side here. The push is going to come through from the north as Rosa is going to start to push on in. Up comes Sky. Oh, they know there's somebody in this building. Will they get the hit? Oh no, instead gets hit themselves. But Dennis coming through with a quick save here.
Yep, and going for the res too here. Nicely done. Rosavleya. I hope I said that right. I'm not sure. I was like thinking about how to pronounce it. Able to get himself some elims in that encounter. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams inside the city trying to exit. And unfortunately, I believe only one team will be able to survive unless some team tries to escape the entire scenario in the first place. Team Rain right into the open loving arms of FC. And that means 2 free eliminations going their way. GG, well played, as they're going to be the true gatekeepers of the city portion of this map. But things slowing down. NASA, the 2 NASAs, again, they want to try and leave as much as possible. But even Vicious over to the eastern side, they're not in the city itself, but they can peek into it. They know what's going on. They know that there could be an opportunity lingering in the shadows to maybe get some free eliminations. If things get a little bit too crazy over there, they can easily capitalize on the madness happening in the city. Outside of that, up north, we do have also a solo. We have a duo team, I believe, and also a full squad looking to push up eventually. So you can see here, perfect actually from production to show it as we have the mini-map here. But so much real estate up for grabs for these teams, especially for Vicious. Or, well, I would even say here, NASA to the western side, the yellow team, maybe just exit, DK. This is not worth fighting for. If you have the cars, if you have the resources to make that move out of the city, man, you would be saving yourself from so much headaches.
But this is exactly Los Leones, right? Looking at how this town is currently situated, and of course the position that Vicious find themselves in, right? Over on towards that eastern side, exactly like the hills on the side of Los Leones. So that is a phenomenal position for them to currently hold. And it's going to get increasingly more challenging for these teams still held up in the city to rotate out exactly like it would be in Los Leones. But now it is going to be NASA Esports starting a little bit of a push here. They only have one team to deal with. It is going to be EBL right up ahead of them. NASA Gaming, though, on the other hand, they've opted for a slightly more western positioning as we see them now pulling up onto the hill, but it is going to be Christian right there to welcome them in with warm barrels. Now it's going to be Bling spotted out. Quick reaction coming through here from Booney. But can they follow through? Can they get the wipe up here onto NASA?
Yeah, Nabuni, you got yourself the nades, 2 Molotovs, which would be great to use at this point in time. He's right behind a wall, and unfortunately lets him get a little bit too deeper here. Bling, able to make it further into the play zone itself, as the other team, NASA, did do a full-on exit, but you can see in the elimination feed, got completely demolished in that fight, so it didn't quite work out in their favor. But EBL, come on, here we go. The nades I was waiting for. The grenades, the utility, the Molotovs, everything could be so impactful. Nice damage onto Bling. The off angle of Rare is going to be working massively in their favor. As Nabuni, here you go, trying to close that gap, trying to get involved in this skirmish. And I think we'll be able to get himself that fight. But don't take it 1v1. Wait for your teammates to back you up. And that will be the perfect execution you would be looking for. They even have the perfect off angle. He's only got 22 bullets left in the UMP magazine. And that is going to be GG. Game over. End of the line for Team NASA. As now, EBL pick himself 8 eliminations. Not a single scratch on their armor, DK. Still a full squad. But the biggest task has yet to be achieved, which is making the cross over the roadside. And I'm telling you, all these teams, they're looking their way. It is not going to be an easy thing to achieve.
I mean, they took that play right out of a textbook. Absolutely loving it. But now it's going to be Rosa, Fleer, that have to try and now defend against the EBL performance, as the zone has shifted even more over on towards that southern side, and it's looking quite favorable now for EBL. So the rest of the lobby going to have to find a slightly more tactful way to get themselves situated. But look at that, Kemi just locking it in. Don is down. Now it's up to Sky and Dennis. Can they pull this one together? 27 seconds or so remain on the clock. Then we're going to be heading up into stage number 8. But first, that blue is going to start nipping at everybody's heels. And this is where the Vicious, Max, actually have quite a bit of ground to cover to get themselves securely positioned up in towards this next zone. But out of the 3 teams, 2 of them are engaging over on the west here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, actually. The team that is going to be nipping at everyone's heels is going to be the Vicious in, I would say, 30 seconds to a minute. That's how much time I give them before the Vicious are like, okay, time's up, guys. We're pushing up. We're going for that win. We're going the entire bloody way for this match. And really good recalls actually coming out from the opposing side. I'm surprised they were able to get the full recall here on so many allies. But yeah, the blue zone is doing just so much work. It is going to be limiting your potential in this match. And Zeus is going to be taken out of the picture entirely. EBL still got those 4 players. They made it over to the eastern side. And Vicious not going for the open northern area. No. Going into the city itself, DK. Not going to lie, that is a big surprise I was not expecting. But it seems like all these emergency cover flares coming out from ROZ maybe just scared them away and made them understand they don't really have full control of that position because of those cover flares. So they're going to go for the city instead, eliminate EBL, and then they can put the full focus on that northern team. So right now, the big fight that's going to be coming up is EBL versus Vicious. 2 favorites entering this Romanian tournament.
It is going to be absolute excitement as both of them are getting ready for the showdown. As you know already, EBL sitting with those comfortable 8 eliminations. Very strong performance here on their side. But will it be enough? It's going to be Rosa also just holding nice and steadily up on the elevated position there. And the Vicious, I mean, this is actually a beautiful spot, right? Because they can spot the rotation or the potential push coming through from Rosa if they decide to make that play. But it's all going to rely on what the zone is going to do in the next few seconds. If it moves south, it could be very decisive. But if it goes to the north, it goes neither of those directions. It just kind of constricts on itself. And Max, this is going to be a pretty tough one for these squads to figure out.
Yeah, Rosav Leia seem like the team to win it all here. And the fact that the two biggest team, again, that I said I highlighted as favorites going into this tournament are currently fighting each other, it's the perfect setup for an underdog team to win against two favorites in this always on Romanian tournament. So things are looking pretty good. They did use a lot of not hovercraft. Don't have those here. Of those cover flares. Are they out? Because that means that if the circle shifts away from their POI, which it will eventually, on phase 8, about to go into phase 9, they will have to leave this position they created for themselves. This little fortress, this little, like, pocket of calmness. They will have to exit eventually and go into the hard truth of reality, which is going to be that Vicious and EBL will be looking your way eventually. Those cover flares coming out. Those are cover flares from EBL, right? Oh my god, already setting up that transition point in case of a fight that goes their way versus Vicious. There we go. The fight, one-on-one trade-off. It's going to be Black going out. Kimmy holding the front line. Going to be traded. So many one-on-one trade-offs. It's going to be down to Icy, the legend himself, to hold the front line, defend his teammates, maybe go for the full recall. He's going to be against two players. The 1v2 here, the nade coming on strong. Not going to be doing much, unfortunately. He's still got one more grenade and one Molotov, but he has to make the cross eventually. Nabone going for his own nade, doing a little bit of tickle damage over to Icy. As EBL going for their own recalls. Redox able to feed some information over. Is he going to try and go for the recall and clutch it up? I mean, he's not even in circle. He still has 7 meters to go, so he has to start thinking about going for the push. The nade connects it for Icy. Gets one. Looking for the double, but it's just not going to go far enough. Kimmy saving the team, and EBL are still going strong.
I mean, yes, Kimmy is still alive, but can Kimmy quickly recover the rest of their teammates? Absolute insanity. But look at this, Rosa. They just chilling, right? I mean, they had a good read on this position. So far, things working out quite favorably for them. 15 eliminations up. A very contentious performance coming through from our final 3 teams here. But it is that final showdown. It is going to be that chicken dinner that will be decided next. And it could go either which way. It is a 3v3. A lot of those Doritos now falling out of the sky. Everybody going to try and, well, have their say in this last match. In fact, actually, it's a 4v3 showdown. Up comes the push now as EBL starts to aggress. They are looking to climb this hill.
There's so many cover flares coming out. They're not building a house. They're building a bloody skyscraper at this point. Oh my god. And the thing is, they even make it across the road. They're safe. They're now playing this ridgeline position, which is going to be massive. And Kimmy is in nade range, trying to steal this game away from Rosav Leia. And so far, things are looking at Dandy in their favor. Don going to be the sole survivor here. Going for the spray down with the M4. Not going to hit any damage, unfortunately. Now swapping on over to the shotgun. And he's going to be... oh my goodness, put solo. And it is going to be EBL to claim victory on our first map of the evening here on Rondo. And really stealing it away when really they had no business winning this game, DK. But those cover flares are meta-defining piece of utility. And they showed exactly why in this match.
That and the phenomenal grenade placement, right? That was absolutely insane. I mean, yes, that nade we saw from Icy was also pretty dang crazy, but pushing right into that final circle, the thing that sealed the fate, and that winner chicken dinner was the nade that bounces off the vehicle, popped that last little bit of damage, and then it made it just so easy for EBL to come in and just do what they need to do to clean it up, lock it in. Absolutely insane performance. And Max, that's only the start. That's only the first match of 10 games that we are going to be looking at. I don't know what to expect from these teams now.
Yeah, I mean, some big names being there. Of course, you're talking about EBL, you're talking about Rosav Leia, and of course, we did have the lads of Team Vicious being up there. But let's check out the leaderboard to see exactly what dent was made in the rankings in his very first match on Rondo. And here we go. EBL Esports up to 24 total points, 14 elimination chicken dinner. That is a massive way to kick off your always-on Romanian Season 1 monthly finals tournament. And then followed up by Rosav Leia, 21 points, nothing to be, sniffed at? Oh, no, snuffed at. That's the saying, right? Sniffed at's a little bit weird. Maybe not that one. As the Vicious also gave himself 16 points on the board, so looking really strong in this one. And if there's anyone that was going to eliminate the Vicious, I thought it was going to be EBL, and the storyline, you know, the script, DK, was written to perfection. Yeah. This is absolute cinema.
No, it was. I mean, I think the word that you were looking for before was scoffed at. Right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
That's the one. I haven't used that saying in a long time. I was like, what's the word? Which is the one? Scoffed. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's nothing to be scoffed at here at all. Absolutely phenomenal performances. I think a really good foundational play that we've had from a lot of teams here. The top three obviously doing a lot of work. We did see those double-digit eliminations coming through across the board. But now it's going to be the big kicker, right? The next map doesn't have the recalls. The next map is the bread and butter of PUBG, and these teams will have to prove themselves again to show us, can they now translate all this aggression into even more strategy as we go over into Erangel?
Well, that's the hope. That's what we're going to be hoping to see, hopefully, on our first Grassy Pastures map. That's going to be great to witness. But if you want to check out that one, guys, stick around because Erangel is coming your way in just a few short minutes.
Yeni sinyali gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'se başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Beni de aldın dur.
Ben çekemem ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni sinyali gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'se başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Abi beni de aldın dur.
Ben çekemem ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni sinyali gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'se başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
Oh, what a good Rondo that was. But you know what? That is going to be it. If you want some more Rondo goodness, come around tomorrow. Same time, same place. But for now, it's going to be time for Erangel and Miramar. And DK, Erangel, we had some great games coming out on that map, going into the Polish side of things for this Always On tournament. And now on the Romanian side, are they going to be just as good? Or are they going to be worse? What are we thinking?
Well, that didn't go where I thought it was going to go. Well done on that one, Max. Yeah, I don't know, right? It's going to be an interesting one. I guess it all depends on where the zone goes, right? If it takes us to a position that was similar to what we saw in these final few stages of Rondo, it could turn out very similar, or it could take a completely different direction. But this is where I want to see a few of those teams that we saw maybe not get as many points in this first game, right? This is the opportunity to kind of try and step it up, try and bring in a little bit of that pressure, bring in a little bit of that heat, and of course, what better map to do it on other than Erangel, right? The map that everybody knows the best. And I mean, we've seen a few teams that went back with a few donuts, right? Now's the time to take a step back from the bakery, get out on the battlefield, and yeah, trying to round up those numbers.
I don't want to take a step out of the bakery, though. I like the bakery. They've got all my favorite goods right there, DK. Leave me in the bakery. Actually, that would be all. PUBG Mobile team, let's create a building that's a bakery in the game, and that would be my drop location. I will go there every single time. I do put a windmill there, too. That would be sick. I'm just describing Livik, aren't I? Yeah, that's just Livik. I realized it's just Livik pretty much the entire way through. But yeah, no, going into Erangel is going to be fun to see how these teams are playing around. As you said, the circle is going to be quite telling, which is how battle royales typically work. The circle decides the fate of these teams and how they have to play things out. Last time we went on to Erangel day 1, game 1 in Poland, we had an Everest circle, right, taken away by Cam Army. Now, we'll see if we're going to get something just as weird, just as riveting to witness going into this game. But here we have it. The plane high in the sky is going to go from Mill to Power all over to the western side of Hospital, as teams are going to be given a fair shot to reach their main drop location. So hopefully no hot drops. If there's a hot drop, it was planned. It was orchestrated, perfectly synchronized between all of the different actors of these fights. As so far, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I'm seeing something in near mansion area. I'm seeing one team. But I think there's another team hidden right behind them. Unless my eyes are playing a trick on me, that means we could have one hot drop minimum happening on Erangel.
Yes, that your eyes are not deceiving you, Max.
Thank you.
Well spotted there. Yeah, it is going to be the 4 warriors finding themselves in a bit of a thing over here. Let's see, who do they have to work with? We don't quite know. Ooh, there we go. It is going to be Rain that is going to be joining them right there up towards the north of Mansion. But the zone also is going to be centered up right over Gadka and the Gadka fields here, a little bit more towards that southern side. So this could be quite an interesting shift here. I mean, it is. We do see Everest still in play in this very first match. So maybe we could have another Everest play come in.
We could, but I don't think it's going to happen. 4 warriors, by the way, losing 3 players pretty much instantly. Drop into this game. They went right back to the lobby. Time to get some TDMs under your belt, because you're going to need some bit more training for those early hot drops. Down to solo, no recall towers. You'll have to play this entire game as a solo, unless you get chased down by Rain, which I think might be happening here. I don't think they want to leave a little straggler just escaping under their nose. Hopefully they can get that final point and get it up to 4 total. NASA, I did see also some extra elims coming out from... yeah, NASA did get 1 elimination on 2 BLL, so they do get themselves that early elimination. And are going to be pretty happy-chappy about it here in Rozok position. By the way, I want to say this is for production team. If we do have another boatyard fight like we did have yesterday with Moneymakers, it could be any team now, I don't care. Please, can we witness the fight? I have yet to see a fight happen, DK, in Boatyard, and I've been waiting to cast a Boatyard fight. But every time one happens, it is not recorded, it is not streamed. So please, let's change it. I want to see it. It's such a cool position.
Well, we'll find out whether or not that is going to be the play here. So, yeah, the only team that we currently have over there is going to be NASA Extreme. So maybe they'll look to take it to the extreme and get all the action cooking over there. But I wanted to ask you about that play that we saw to start off the action here with the 4 warriors and, of course, the players from Rain. Do you think it was fair to say that they rained down chaos on them, or was it maybe a different approach coming through towards them? I don't know, but 4 warriors, they still have a player in here, so not the entire squad has been sent back just yet. We still have all 16 teams represented out on the battlefield.
Is he going to do a 1v59? Can he make it happen?
Ooh, imagine that.
Yeah, it's a no. It was like a question, but realistically, it was a no. That was the only real answer this time around. But oh, I'm looking at Kimmy here from EBL, kind of just peeking over the ridge, trying to eavesdropping onto Rozok itself. Not sure if you want to get involved. It's a bit of a weird early fight, especially because you have one team, NASA Extreme, as you already stated here, DK, that are going to be far to the west of this position, near Boatyard position. So they could get involved if some weird shenaniganeries happen over in this compound, but I hopefully will not be witnessing that very soon. But actually, I say that. There you go. Shots being fired. Kimmy just going to go back into hiding, saying, okay, I'm not going to peek this mountaintop anymore. Going to go maybe straight back into school itself, which he is going to be doing right into that buggy. Well, actually, no, knowing Kimmy, might want to play aggressive. You know what? I take it back. It's Kimmy. I forgot who I was talking about. You might want to do something about it.
Well, we'll see. Maybe something happens. Well, at least from what we can see now, that it's not going to happen, as Kimmy just, well, decided to rotate away. Off they go. Bum-ba-da-bum. Yeah, getting a nice little bit of a cheeky crash up into the rocks. We've seen this position up in school being played as well, so is anything going to come through from this? Of course, there's still going to be that big opportunity for the teams to get the ball rolling here. We do see quite a few of those eliminations coming through in the feed as well, as there is going to be engagements coming all across the map here. But the team's still casually making their way up towards the zone, looking to see if they can find anything. And it's an interesting spot that we had there for the first one, Romania, right? That was the team that got involved in the fight there, as they lost their first player all the way over on towards that far eastern side. So what is going to be happening over there, Max? It is Alliance, right? Waiting in the wing for them.
Ooh, we'll have to see how things are going to be going down for them. Could be a decent position to play around. But Vicious, I'm always peeking on Vicious. I'm always like, where are they? They're trying to cause trouble on their position. They're currently west of Pachinki Hill. So they're going to be having Narvalo, IC Redux, storing, pushing in slowly. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was caught on camera. Oh, that's you don't. Okay, that's going to in the show reel right there. That's going to be in the funny montage of this tournament. I think that was unfortunate. Always look in front of you when going through the fields. You have some of these trees. They're very thin, very hard to really notice and discern out in these grassy pastures. But unfortunately, that's what kind of driving I would do as an IGL DK. I think you speak from experience that. I've done that a couple times, and it's worse when a player's looking your way and they can just see that and eliminate you in all your shame.
And it's even worse if that player's called Iso.
Yes, especially.
Speaking about which, though, here comes the Vicious now looking to find a few more, as they're not completely done with that team just yet. You said they were out there looking to cause a few issues, and that seems to be exactly what is on the table for them. But now it's going to be NASA Gaming looking to get just the heck out of Dodge as they push further and further on towards that southern side, maybe dipping all the way up in towards Ferry Pier, maybe going for a very southern quarry positioning. Well, they're going to have to deal with on back right over there, but for the first time, it is going to be first one Romania on screen, getting ready for a bit of a play here. They've already lost one. Can they maybe try and recover this?
Oh, they're definitely going to give it a fair shot. We'll have to wait a little bit, see what the resolution of this engagement is going to be. This is God Compound, by the way. Really love this position. Called God Compound for a reason. Really good compound overall. Really good buildings. Roads are valley all around the west, southern, and eastern edge. And you've got also some really good vantage points, meaning you can get some information of teams breaching you very, very early before it even happens in the first place a lot of the time. So, first one, Romania, going to be defending it. Sure, they did lose a player, but the position is so strong you could easily defend it as a trio. But the team, they're just rolling around them, looking to snatch it away for themselves. Is this the team that got the elimination? I think it might have been, and now they have information, they have the man advantage. They're going to be trying to send it right into the lion's den. Nade cooking up, does do a little bit of damage down to half HP, but not going to result in a knock just yet. And now swapping over. Yep, that's going to be time for the pump. Jumping down, maybe from the balcony. The Molotov is going to spread, blocking him in just a corner. A little position on this balcony. As now all the utility is going to be chucked in the face of their opponents. So far, a lot of utility thrown out, but nothing connected as of right now.
Yeah, aside from that first nade, nothing else has done all too much. But now it's going to be the spray through the window here. I'm not quite sure how Genzo can see through that scope, because I can't see anything through it. Right? It's just a really difficult spot. It's like, I don't know if is that helping or making things a lot more challenging.
Yeah, that I think is just our POV just a little bit weird, but if that's what he sees, man. Maybe that's a pay-to-lose skin. Maybe I wouldn't recommend purchasing that one. Here we go. Molotov going to be spreading onto Leesoft. That's going to be able to create a little bit of a man advantage now, but the pump right to the face is going to be Camo picking up possibly his second elimination if he can get this one confirmed. But now they're pushing kind of a one by one. The off angle is working massively for First One Romania. Now the team goes down. First One Romania surviving as a trio, 4 eliminations to their name. They should not have been able to win this one, and yet they come out on top.
Yeah, they avenged their fallen teammates, so well done to them. I mean, that was a really good defensive play, right? They had a man disadvantage, and they were able to kind of hold on. But now they're going to get tested yet again, as NASA is going to come knocking on the door. They've heard the shots. Now they've come to inspect. It is going to be Blink taking a few deliberate hits there on the side. Now Flux lower up on the hill, trying to time the shots, but look at Flux just flexing with the spray though. They do find the opener, and now it's going to be go time for the side there of NASA.
Yeah, NASA going to have to start thinking about how they're going to be potentially making that move forward. Team Moldova, though, also on Everest themselves, going to be I said it could be another game happening on Everest. You said Phase 1 was there. I was a bit doubtful after that if we were going to have it again, but no, it's Slapdag in the middle of this circle, and yeah, Team Moldova, we'll see if they can hold down this position for the entirety of this match. Unless it shifts away, then maybe don't hold it down if it's in the blue. Wouldn't recommend it. But there are going to be some people, especially Team Vicious, getting slightly closer, looking at this as a potential future option for them in this game. As Team Rain over Northeast are going to be making their move onwards, and Roz also making their move in the circle. So everyone's trying to play catch-up. Everyone's in the circle except for them, really. There's one team over to the west also. They're very close to happening in the circle currently. As White will be taking some shots and trying to scare teams away, make it known that there is a team up here. We're kings of the hill. And if you want to take it away, you'll have to come fight us.
Yeah, just doing the good old, don't come here.
That's scary. That's a scary sound.
We have weapons, and we're not scared to use them. I was going to say, regardless of how this next phase was going to shift, Everest is going to still be in play, at least for this next phase. And there we have it. So I'm not quite sure if it is going to stay all the way into phase number 4, but we'll find out soon enough. And for the meantime, there's going to be that opportunity for the teams further down towards the southern side to try and lock it in. Ooh, we do see some cheeky, sneaky plays coming up here. But Vicious, though, they've actually moved up much closer to Everest, but opted for a little bit more of an eastern positioning. So good consolidation over onto those compounds there. Let's see whether or not EBL is going to be able to do anything from the gut position over here.
Oh, hopefully. Hopefully they'll be able to make something out of it. I mean, it's a really good position to potentially play around. And I'm sorry. It always takes me a second when you're talking about a team because you say the team, and I look on my minimap, and then I look at my map feed. They're different color. Like on my map feed, you guys can't see this. They're yellow, and on our feed, they're black. And I'm like,
yes.
Wait, what are you talking about, DK? The black team is over to the west, but that's actually a different team. And it takes me a second to clock it. It's like, wait, what were you talking about? So if it looks like I'm thinking really hard and like, wait, what's going on? It's because my brain is not braining and the map is not mapping. That's unfortunately a situation we have to deal with. Here we go. Go is going to be for Romanian Evolution, going to be completely, I was going to say completely pushed upon, but I don't know if I could qualify that as a push. That was an attempt at a push, and unfortunately nothing really came of it except 2 eliminations going their way.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see these teams turning the expectation on its head here. But, you know, you've highlighted a little bit of that, the challenges that we have as casters, matching up the colors that we see on the screen versus what we see on the map feed. Well, that would be, you would be doing PUBG casting in hard mode, Max. That's probably what that scope is. The one with the flames, right? That's PUBG in hard mode because a clear side is just too easy. Speaking about easy, though, NASA Gaming trying to make it look easy as they are yet to find a few eliminations. Not securing anything so far just yet, but NASA Esports now moving in alongside them. So we could see a little bit of NASA on NASA action. A little bit of baiting coming here from Salam as well.
Yep, Salam just taking some little shots right now, making sure that Gun can't really leave. This is such a hard position to go into. When you are in this swamp area, leaving that position is always extremely, extremely hard because, well, it's hard to park cars in a safe area there. You don't really have a garage, meaning that if the team has an angle on you, they can easily pop the wheels off the car, and then you're just going to be stuck in the swamp, and leaving it is going to be very hard by foot itself. Team Rain, though, it took them ages, but they finally got in the play zone. And the circle is about to shift in just a few more seconds, and I think they might have to transition away once more. It does get to face forward. They don't have to move away that much. But I do think it's going to be enough here, DK, that they will have to breach on the team. I think it's going to be on 4 Romanian Evolution. And they're going to have to make a move eventually this game, as Tornado Siren, also in the field, held down by BLL, and Team Moldova will have to start to exit Everest and push onto a compound.
Let's see what the options will be here. It is going to be even more of a push now, heading onto Zakil, though. See whether or not anything is going to come through from that. Very exposed out in the field there. It doesn't seem like Team Rain can lock in those shots just yet. Vicious also still very spread out, right? You can see one of their players up on the edge of the zone, the others yet to rotate up. Rain trying to kind of condense their position here, starting to move forward. 6 eliminations already up for them. Baby is going to be losing EXO to the blue. And we are seeing those numbers slowly dropping down. The rest of Baby, though, good rotation, pushing close towards center zone. So I want to see how that play is going to pan out for them, especially with all those hay bales in the surrounding area. But now we can look back at the crazy sprays that we had just flying through the windows. Meanwhile, there's going to be, who is that? The Romanian Evolution Squad taking up a decent position, at least for the time being.
I don't know if I would qualify that as like some insane sprays coming out from the window. It's just a player decelerating in front of you, and it was the easiest shot possible. Like it was cool, you know. But no, I'm gonna wait until Team Vicious get involved, and then we can talk about some crazy shots being thrown some teams' way. As yet, for Evo, looking to get in that buggy also. But no, here we go. Vicious, they're bleeding over the side of Everest, and they're starting to get some early information. I like what Icy's doing, getting close with the car, third-person perspective, getting intel, knowing a team indeed is parked up here. As Dorian, up on Everest itself, going to offer a little bit of a vantage point, get some insight, get some information, maybe even some shots with some long-range weaponry, depending on his loadout, maybe a Mini 14, learning from the best, like Top from Alpha Gaming. As Tornado Siren now, this is going to be a little bit of a harsh position to play around here, DK, because you've got so many dips and it's really hard to get information. But this car from Christian, I think he's trying to get a vehicle elimination, and he might be able to secure it.
Ooh, well, we'll see soon enough if that one's going to work. No, instead, Christian gets eliminated. Ooh, a little bit of a oof coming through on that one. Robbie and the rest of the players now starting to move up. It is going to be BLL Keystone sending out a few mollies, trying to see if they can light those hay bales on fire. But here we go. Casus being a nice angle here, just riding in these dips. Again, not trying to get spotted out just yet. Looking for the information, trying to make a very informed play here. But again, it is so challenging, especially with those teams that we have situated towards the north of their position. But I've got the utilities, the immediate threat now coming through here from Rain Max.
Yeah, come on, that nade. Oh, it's looking good. Oh, not enough to get the knock on Casus, but a very, very fair attempt. I think follow-up was massive, but they don't get a knock, so they're thinking, is he really in that dip? Did he move away? We don't know. Let's hold on to our resources. And right now, they got a ton of resources. I think, yeah, that's going to be six grenades, potential eliminations if he hits them onto BLL. So Christian could be a massive threat. And look at that nade, and here you go. That's going to be one knock. Maybe followed up with a second, but you get that knock. You need to push it. You need to go for the breach. You need to commit to the fight, and he's going to be doing that with his team, and that's going to be the easiest squad wipe ever for Team Rain, as now they claim full control of Tornado Siren.
Yep, and 9 eliminations up to them as well, so let's see what is going to come through here for them. Can they maybe continue with this momentum moving further into the zone in the next 20 seconds or so? We'll be starting with that blue zone closure. Again, not too much of a hard push for a lot of these teams, right? Everybody pretty close to the safe zone. Now it is going to be NASA. Both of them just holding over on towards that southwestern side. Meanwhile, EBL still has to make a decisive play here. How are they going to push up in towards this next phase? Again, there is that beautiful bit of a ridge up ahead of them, but is it going to be enough for them to hold? And can they actually defend themselves from that angle?
Possibility. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how things devolve for them. EBL going to have to push out. They do have a few cars behind them, so they should be able to execute it. Oh, this dip. Oh, this dip is good until you have to leave or until a team gets too close. It's very nadeable. And you've got to make sure you keep those cars in working condition. You're going to kind of coexist with NASA at this point. So, Team Baby. Maybe mainly Molotovs. Molotovs are going to be great on these buildings there. Wooden floors, meaning the Molotov is going to be able to spread a little bit further. So you can really deny even more angles from the team. But NASA, another NASA, again, is getting hella confusing. Are going to be rocking up on the western edge. Onto Don in particular from Team Roz. This next circle, I'm telling you, so many teams are playing edge currently. The center is free real estate for anyone to pick, but you can't play just yet because, as I said, you would be fully surrounded by teams. So the next shift onto Circle 6 is going to be the deciding factor of who has a chance of winning and who will be sent home.
Well done. Don, the beautiful grenade there right across the hill. Just on the money, finding Blink. But now, can they follow it up, right? Can Rosa get even more plays onto the rest of NASA? A very tight position being held right here. Here comes the nade. Is it going to make its way in? Ooh, Flux so close, but not close enough for that nade to cause the necessary damage. The mollies continue to rain across the way. But for Rosa here, I mean, Don trying to do everything that they can, right? They already got that one elimination up. They are the last remaining hopeful for their team, so there's a lot of pressure now riding on their shoulders here. Up comes Mario trying to defend, as it is going to be EBL knocking on the door. They want entry. They want some points. Can they get it? Yes is the answer. Mario getting traded off, and out goes the entirety of NASA Extreme. Now it's going to be Team Rain holding over on towards the far western side. It is nothing but open fields ahead of them. But Max, still a very difficult angle to play here.
Yeah, I saw that shot also through the smoke in the window. I think he heard the footsteps and just went for a big guess play and hit that shot perfectly. So got to respect it. When you've got that audio cue, you sometimes just need to try and capitalize and take that risk. And you know what? It paid off massively in that southern compound fight. Now, yeah, NASA through the field position, trying to claim that dip area for themselves. There's going to be Don that we showed her has been able to hit some sick grenades earlier. But can he do it 3 more times in a row? I don't think it's going to be that easy. Does he even have 3 grenades? I do not know, but Vicious over to the northeastern side going to have to start to think about crashing onto Fort Evo. And I believe that fight is now currently ongoing. As we shift on over the POV to NASA, they're going to clash on over, and Don will be indeed taken out of this game.
Well, up comes the play here from Vicious. It is going to be the Romanian Evolution ahead of them. Already 1 player down. 2 players still up. Oh, quick finish going through there. Icy getting the confirmation locked in. Redox has been knocked out as well, but a beautiful nade onto Icy. Oh, I love this. The upsets continue to roll on through. Romanian Evolution not giving up just yet. They are going to try and stand their ground as best they can. It is just utility flying all over the place. Icy has been brought back on their feet. Now it's going to be up to Doran and Icy to see. Can they not only bring the team together, but lock in the compound? The answer is yes.
They were down to a solo on the brink of death, and yet Vicious survived. Doran, Icy popping off, taking 1 elimination each and making sure the future of the Vicious is safe and sound. What a play. Proving again why these guys are international level here in PUBG Mobile Esports. Though, over to the other squads, P19 hand is going to be Retro pushing up for Team Moldova in the fields, claiming a decent position so far as Team Rain. The thing is with these high ground positions, they're great until you have to leave, and now so many teams are looking their way. Team Vicious are looking the direction of Team Rain. The moment they start bleeding over that ridge, they're going to get their head popped right off. So you've got to be very cautious about it. As Retro with that P90, make him work. Up to a decent amount of eliminations here. So looking really strong this game indeed, and also in a decently central position. So Retro could be making it decently far this game.
Yeah, definitely could. But let's see, will Retro get a little bit more active? Currently being bombarded, trying to lock it down. This is going to be Big Baby trying to gain a bit of entry here. As you can see, Stro is also sending out everything in their arsenal. 1 molly left, so they have to be very, very selective with how they look to play this. But again, making so much noise that it is going to open up that pathway potentially now for NASA to sneak up right behind them. As NASA is also yet to find their way on through. It's going to be Flux and Bling just holding on the south of the Big Baby squad here. Oh, now it's going to be go time as the shots start to connect and up. You can see Flux, Bling slowly just inching their way closer and closer, waiting for that exact moment to strike. Especially now that Baby is going to be so distracted But will that opportunity come, Max? As you can see, Vicious starting to descend down upon this lobby as they start to spread out all throughout the north of the zone.
Well, you said also for NASA, Flux, and Bling, if they want to find that time to strike, I would say there's no time to strike. I would say play it silent, play it passive, just try and survive. They did lose Bling, actually, so it's just going to be Flux 23 alive. And, well, so far, this game. So hopefully he's not going to be spotted. But I say that, of course, Team Rain, they see that moving pixel. They instantly start spraying on that hay barrel. We're playing proper, and they know that hay barrel is going to be a player. But yeah, Vicious, as you said, descending upon this lobby. And they have Narvalo as an anchor point currently in the field, which is going to be great for them to try and make that move forward once they do possibly deal a bit more damage onto Team Rain. I would even recommend a 2-2 split right now. Keeping 3 players in the back end, I get it, but 2-2 split for me would be even stronger. You've got to be careful. There is one player you can see on the minimap in red right behind them, which could be ruining the entire strategy of this team if he does cause some damage onto Vicious. If he gets a knock or two, that could really destroy the entire strategy for this chicken dinner.
Yeah, so let's see whether or not the Romanian squad player is going to be found out, as you've pointed towards the northern side here. But Team Rain, though, looking pretty good. 12 eliminations up, a very strong performance that they've been showcasing so far throughout this match. But can they do the final bit? Can they find those final 2 players over on towards the southern side? Flux is still going to be just inching their way closer and closer, having to now move away from those hay bales to try and get themselves situated as the zone is going to start closing on up. Got a minute and a bit of change left before we hit stage number 8. And after that, there won't be any more zones. It's just going to be blue and damage and chaos all across the board. Flux is going to get picked up and out they go. Down to the final 5 we are. And we don't see any more solos currently situated over on towards the southern side. We still have the Romanian squad holding on towards that north with their own final representative, Team Rain. Looking to spread themselves out, trying to cover as many angles as they can. Strohs has been found, and this is now Vicious starting to build up even more momentum here.
Yep. So we're going to be down to the wire here in these last few circles in the fields too, meaning every shot is going to be so damn important for you to hit, to create those man advantage situations by getting those knocks, maybe even flushes if you can take it the entire way. Yeah, Vicious, 7 eliminations, so many resources after that breach ride, taking all the loot from their opponents. But one player here, Team Moldova versus Sakalu possibly. He's got 4 nades, 1 Molotov. Okay, especially those nades could be big. I want to see him play around those nades a lot. When you're hidden like this, when you're trying to pull a Ryzen like in 2020, those grenades can really give you such a big advantage point because you don't give too much information on where you're located on your whereabouts. You can still do some deadly damage. So that grenade, those grenades, multiple plural, he's got multiple right now, could be spelling disaster for teams around him. Here we go though, Vicious pushing around, Doran doing some heavy damage again with his main AR onto Team Baby, and they're just starting to sweep the west, but there's still that play behind them, DK, which is scaring me. That could be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, big ups to the Romanian squad player for just staying hidden for so long, right? Has not yet been found out, but not quite sure for how much longer this will be able to continue. Narvalo has been found as well. Now it's going to be Robbie here from Team Rain, trying to push a little bit further forward. The whole entirety of Rain now just hugging the edge of zone, and I like what the Vicious are doing here, just asserting themselves. Of course, that solo out in the bush has been ambushed, and down they go. Sakalu is about to get rushed as well. You can see Doran just there on the front line. Quick spotting coming through here from Robbie, but now got to dip down and move away. Has made enough noise now, and this is exactly that go opportunity as Team Rain is going to try and strike up. They come icy now, just laying in the hits. Sakalo getting downed. Now, Team Rain down to a 2-piece, but things are looking pretty grim here for them, Max.
Yeah, Redox did find that one solo pesky player in the back end trying to ruin their day. And now Vicious can only focus on the land mass in front of them. Icy, Redox, Narvalo still going strong as now Team Baby and Rain still surviving, still living on, trying to stop them from getting this massive elimination chicken dinner possibly going their way. But Rain on the right side, right behind that little bush. They don't see him just yet, trying to maybe outlive Team Baby for free second place. As now all hell breaks loose. Vicious going for the recall, for the res, sorry, not recall, not Rondo, res on their teammate. They strike some grenades, they see Baby, smokes in the distance, but they do get himself Rain. Robbie spotted out last second, that's going to be the end for them. Rain third place now, it's all between Team Baby Duo and the full squad of Team Vicious. baby. Got himself that slight 1-1 split, DK. But will it be enough to subvert expectations and take home a 2v4?
That's going to be the one we'll have to have answered right here, but the utilities are going to try and reach across the way. It does find Strohs. As Strohs goes down to the blue, a nice bit of an assist, but now it's going to be overlaid. The final hopeful standing between the Vicious and that winner chicken dinner. Icy coming in with the icing on top, locking in that final elimination to seal the deal. And there we go. We have our answer. The Vicious are victorious.
Well, we just witnessed a third place into a chicken dinner back-to-back from Team Vicious. I mean, we knew they were going to do well, but you know what? This is... No, I'm not even going to say they're outdoing my expectations. They're playing based on my expectations right now. That's exactly what I was hoping to see from this squad, so I'm not too surprised. So very well executed indeed, but a lot of great stuff indeed was shown from other teams here, especially Team Rain. I think they understood the value of Tornado Sirens in that open field finish. They tried to use it as long as humanly possible. But leaving that spot when the circle is pushing you away from it is always extremely, extremely rough. And I think here they couldn't do much more in that kind of situation. So they made the most out of a really good spot for as long as they possibly could. And there is going to be a expiration date on that position, which did end up happening in the later stages of this match. With that said, the leaderboards are currently ready. So let's check it out to see exactly how high our lads are going to be of the Vicious. And they're going to be looking high and mighty indeed. 38 points in this game. No, not in this game, in this day so far. 23 eliminations, 15 placement points, and already started to create a little bit of a lead here with EBL up at 28 points for themselves.
Yeah, it is looking pretty, well, as to be expected, I would say, so far, right? 2 matches done. It is difficult to make too much of a prediction right here, but, well, we'll have to see even more as we are going to be heading into match number 3 in a very short moment. But I like what happened here for the Romanian squad, right? Managing to at least secure some good placement points, inching their way up in towards that 12th place. Unfortunately, no eliminations coming their way just yet. In fact, the only team that is yet to find some eliminations. So hopefully, game number 3 would be the one in which we can see them do exactly that.
Maybe would be the one to make it happen. Match number 3, one more Erangel. Maybe we'll be able to get himself some good performance that time around. But oh, fun. I mean, we had 2 games to kick off Erangel for the 2 regions. DK go near, one on Everest, one near Everest. So it seems like that's just the way we kick off Erangel in the always-on tournaments. That's going to be something that's going to keep happening for years and years and years to come. So we'll have to see. But with that said, if you want maybe another Everest finish that might be coming up, we don't know. No idea. If you want to find out, stick around. We got match number 3 of today coming up to you very, very soon. So be here. This is why I'm not a host, guys. See you in a bit. Catch you later.
Tahminin aldım dur. Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Alberson'a yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Alberson'a yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka hiçbir şey.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Tahminin aldım dur. Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka bir şey yok.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz zaten.
TETO Games aynı.
Ben çekiyorum ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never.
So when you mix the words soon and fun, it gives a new word, and it's foon. And it's a word I invented because the fun is coming very soon to you right now. It's about time we get into the action one final time on Erangel. We had a great match here taken home by the Vicious. Could they make the back-to-back happen here, DK? As I tried to think about creating a new word for the Vicious and win. The win. Yes, that's
Vicious.
the one. Yeah.
The wishes. Yeah, there we go.
Wishes.
The wishes.
Yeah, that works. You know what? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go with that one. Also, if you mix soon and fun, it could also just be sun, right? It's the same thing as well.
But that's already a word that exists.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, but foon sounds sounds authentic. It sounds very Max Manish. So
Yes.
yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see what the second and final dose of Erangel for the day is gonna hold for us. Will we have same kind of almost as we had with the first dose of Poland? Is it gonna repeat itself once again? Or is it going to go somewhere completely different? Of course, we'll be finding out very, very soon. Of course, if I remember correctly, the last one that we saw, game number 2 over on that side, was a very centered up zone, right? A little bit closer to the school's apartment area. Not exactly, but kind of
Yes.
in that area. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, I actually remembered something from 2 days ago. Wow, high five. There we go.
He did
But
it.
anyway. Yeah, the big question is going to be, what will these teams be bringing on in? And, I mean, I'm going to be looking at EBL. Yes, I know you're going to be looking at the Vicious. Or the Wishes, right? We'll see what's going to be coming through. I'm really liking what EBL has been doing so far in just these first 2 matches of the day. So I want to see what game number 3 holds for them.
Yeah, it's a good pick, right? EBL. If I was not picking Vicious, I would be picking EBL. It was a tough decision between these two teams because they all have storied players, storied rosters following them in these games. But yeah, EBL very happy. I mean, Kimmy in particular. Kimmy, you know what? One-on-one conversation with Kimmy in particular. Kimmy, why the hell are you not in PMCOs or PMPLs or PMSLs that we've been having for the past few years? Where's he been? This guy is cracked his true raw potential in PUBG Mobile Esports, and he's just kind of just disappeared like fairy dust, like Fugazi just disappeared, nothingness. The man needs to come back in the esports scene. I'm talking full time because this guy is just built different and is easily, in my opinion, one of the best players in Romania, and that's saying something because man, oh man, DK, we've had so many strong players just originating from Romania. Of course, we had Nexus, we had the Eastern Stars. That's a real big callback. And these guys were just on top of the world in PUBG Mobile Esports globally, even. And Kimmy, I think, was one of those new gen players that could have been up there too alongside them, but he just didn't quite make it after some point. Not sure what happened. So Kimmy, if you're listening, please come back, join a good roster. And I'm telling you, this guy could be going the entire way in this esports scene.
Yeah, definitely good. So a lot to look forward to. And aside from that, I mean, who else would you be keeping an eye on going into match number next?
Putting me on the spot. I need to open my graphic here. Who? Big Baby. There we go. Big Baby. I think this is a team that will get a win eventually. Again, storied roster, well, storied team at least, different roster from what we had in the past, but I think they could be doing really, really well. So that's my team I'm looking at. What about you?
I would have to say, based on what we've seen so far, I'd have to go with Rain.
Yeah.
Maybe they can bring in a little bit of heat. Also showing good consistency with regards to that aggression. Yeah, I just want to see a little bit more of a push coming into game number 3. Can they lock it in? Can they get in what they need to bring on through? Can they reign supreme? I think that's going to be the big question. Of course, we'll find out very soon here, Max.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy you bring up Team Rain because I think that, again, last game they used Tornado, Siren, Hilltop as long as they possibly could. But it would be nice to see from them in the future maybe a situation like this happen again, like it occurs one more time, and they see the kink in the armor, they see the potential downfall, right, in the crystal ball, and they say, okay, this is going to be an issue eventually. Let's try and be a little bit more proactive rather than just being reactive, and try and get into a better position before that bad spot happens. And if they can do that, I think that Team Rain definitely has the fragging power to rival the big dogs like your EBLs, like your The Vicious. So, yeah, I agree. I think Team Rain has shown potential in not only just last game, actually, DK, also in the first game on Rondo. So they've done it back-to-back, 2 really good games, 2 really good, strong finishes with a lot of potential. Team Rain, could they be number 1 against Vicious? Again, I'm very biased, which I shouldn't be, but I don't care. I'm going to be. I think a podium position for them is definitely in the cards.
Yeah. I mean, they've already rebounded quite well after the first match, coming in a little bit stronger into game number 2. Now game number 3, a decent spread up towards Stolber and Kameshki, so an interesting position for them to be in. But of course, that zone is going to be the big revealer. Ooh, it goes down to the southeastern side. So BBL, they're going to have to quickly sort out that whole Saverni situation before starting a potential play to get themselves in that zone.
What is that parachute? Was it a cow? Oh, that's good. I kind of want that. That's kind of a cool parachute. I don't have a cool parachute. Mine just says, what is my parachute? Mine is just PMGC parachute, I believe. Very basic, but very cool. I like it. I just have all esports skins. That is what I do. That is my style. Oh, here we go, though. Scorpion in hand for Romania's squad. Hot drop happening in Saverni. We've had one also for the Polish edition, so... Peeps be loving Saverni. Saverni be kind of cool. I don't know if there's a nightclub up there or something, but it's something that just attracts people to this area. Don't know what it is. I'll have to go visit someday. Let's see what the hell's going down in good old Saverni. Something weird's going on.
Yeah. Definitely is. I mean, I just got a little bit thrown off when I saw the player was blindfolded. So playing PUBG with the eyes closed. You know, that's next level sensory coming through on that one. Speaking about sensory, it's going to be Marion now getting into a bit of an altercation here with the Rexor, both holding on either side. BLL. Ooh. Yeah, like I said, they're going to have to make a quick work with this if they want to get up into a zone. Sometimes we do see these Saverni engagements going on for a little while longer as they are... Well, then they should, rather. And also that blue could catch up with him really, really quickly. And in fact, I think the blue is probably going to catch him first.
Yeah, it definitely is. I do not like these Saverni fights. It's just... No, it's not. I don't like it. Especially because the main issue with these type of compounds is that they have so much flat terrain all around it, and if a team has an angle on you as you try and pick up speed with a car you possibly picked up, then you're done. If you don't have a car spawn on your area, you're very unlucky, then you've got to go by foot, and you're kind of committed to the fight by force. You can't escape in the first place. It's, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is the first time we've seen this one properly happen, so you know what, I always forgive the first hot drop, because maybe you just didn't know, the research wasn't done on that specific scenario, and it just happened. And you know what? That is fine. Happens to the best of us. It's just when it keeps happening every time. It's a reoccurring issue. That's when I start to have a problem with it eventually. So, Team Baby, or actually the ones I talked about earlier, Baban, going to be knocked on down. But they do get revenge for their teammate, and they will be getting themselves some juicy eliminations. So good to see. But yeah, a lot of early game fights in this game. It seems definitely more active than game 1, DK, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at a few engagements coming through as well, right? We still have this obvious one in Saverni. We did see a little bit of something developing over towards the south of Kameshki. And then maybe towards Potato Hill, right? That could maybe be EBL and NASA finding themselves in a bit of a play, but they're going to have to be cautious with that rotation because they could be rolling right into the Vicious, patiently waiting ahead of them. But let's see what is going to happen right over here. The Romanian squad, I said before that it would be great to see them step it up a little bit. They did make it into placement point territory in the previous match, but now, can they secure their first eliminations, right? They're the only squad on the leaderboard that are still in need of those elimination points.
I got jump scared. Look at the left of your screen right now. You got a little clicker right there. You got a little mouse. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, there you go. Let's get rid of it. I was like, wait a minute. It's PUBG Mobile.
I thought it was mine.
I thought it was mine too. I was like, wait, what? It's not moving. I thought my mouse was broken. No, it's not my mouse.
Production is trolling us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we got trolled. They got us. But no, it is indeed PUBG Mobile, not PUBG PC. Oh no, mobile, the superior platform. Here we go. It's going to be Team Baby going for their own fight. Baban again was knocked. This man's just getting bullied by the entire lobby. It seems getting knocked multiple times in a row. But he will be brought back to life once more. Self-revive? No, that's his teammates. They keep on bringing him back to life. Here we go, though. It's going to be one of the squad mates of Team Baby. Just going to get sprayed on down by 4 warriors that do have... I was going to say more than one player. Actually, maybe not for long. It's made down to the 1. And here we go. He's again eliminated. This is the same team that got involved in an early hot drop in game number 1 on Erangel. And now it's happening in the second Erangel once again. So they definitely have a lot of homework to do after today, going into day number 2. Because, man, this Erangel match... and the previous one, not going their way whatsoever.
I mean, I'll give it to them. They are showing some nice aggression. But yes, they're going to have to survive those engagements to really benefit off of it. Speaking about benefit and surviving, the blue zone is going to be benefiting off a few additional points of health here, as it is going to start taking that away from BLL. And of course, the players coming through here from the Romanian squad. So whatever they're gonna do, they have to do it quick and fast because, yeah, time is a ticking, and that zone is getting further and further away from them. So hopefully they can conclude this whole scenario that we see unfolding over here. But BLL, this is the opportunity to maybe try and lock in a few additional points. They only have 1 so far, Max.
Oh, and 1 point, that's not a lot. Except for us, DK. And that's one thing I always do is like, if someone's doing bad, it's like, we would not do any better. And it's just a way for them to make them feel better. Yeah. Because they're still playing some good PUBG Mobile. But yeah, that's definitely going to be hard for them to come back. That's a 37-point difference between themselves and the Vicious. So, not impossible, especially with the amount of games left. You know, you still have 7 matches after this one. So you can still make, well, actually, they're still fully alive. So you know what? Let's make it 8. They still have 8 matches to play. So it's not impossible for them to surmount. Yeah, BLL here. Being very silent for Dennis, which makes sense. Again, he's kind of surrounded by the full squad of Romania squad. That's Rexo taken out. Hard res. But you stated it earlier, right, DK? I'm just going to steal what you said, which is the blue is just going to engulf this position and going to be the main issue. And it really is. It's just adding that time factor to the fight that is such a pain to deal with. And I don't know why it keeps happening. So hopefully, the next time we have a circle like this and we have a plane that does allow you to drop in Severny, you don't see the hot drop happen, at least in the same fashion.
But Max, I'm confused now because Team Moldova...
Oh, wait, what?
They rotated all the way up to here. Why?
And they got 2-2 split too. They got 2 players to the east of it and 2 players to the west of Severny. Okay, yeah, I don't know. What are we looking at?
Are they doing something that we don't know about? Like, is there a meeting happening or something?
I told you, there's something about Severny, man. There's a nightclub hitting here somewhere. They're all trying to party.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. But, well, hopefully these 3 squads would choose to disengage and start with their rotation. Already the Romanian squad is going to be losing players to that blue, as I mentioned earlier. Dennis now coming through with a little bit of a spray there. Not going to get the confirmation, but instead the blue zone does lock that in. Dennis is bleeding health all over the place. But Team Moldova, they've got 3 eliminations up, and they are going to be losing a bucket load of health if they don't get moving soon.
Their plays are so smart, we have no idea what they're doing. It's working out massively in near Severny. There's Retro. Moldova, yep, getting some decent damage. Will find the knock, and he's going to bleed out even faster because of the blue zone damage, so that is going to be good. Team Moldova, though, are you going to take the risk of pushing in the city itself? I wouldn't recommend it. That is when you're taking an unnecessary risk. You can just wait it out. You got a lot of meds. I'm looking here, for example, 3 first aids for one of the players, 3 first aids also for Retro. But no, they are going to go for the more aggressive approach and sending players kind of split too. It's kind of a 1-by-1 scenario I'm seeing, DK, that I'm not enjoying too heavily. They are going to try and get it wrapped up ASAP. I don't know. How do you feel about this? Because I'm personally not in love with it. I actually, you know what? I even hate it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. No, you and me both. You and me both. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand. My brain is hurting. Go back to the zone. Get back into the white circle. The blue is not your friend. It might allow you a few additional eliminations, but it's going to cost you way more than it's going to be giving you. I mean, I'll give Team Moldova the benefit of the doubt for the fact that they are eager to score points, but not like this, right? Do it in the zone.
The thing is, they're still in the blue of phase 1. This would be in the blue in phase 1, and we're about to go into circle 3. They are 2 circles behind, meaning that they're going to go into the circle. Teams are already in position, defensively speaking, so it's going to be quite tough. Here you go, taking 1 casualty. This is exactly what we were talking about. You're going to be taking some unnecessary casualties. They lose 1 player. Dennis still up and kicking, but the blue zone, I think, is going to be doing a little bit too much damage, and Dennis does get knocked by actually a beautiful nade from Course. So now it's going to be down to a 1v3 scenario. Rexo. It's an X. I can read. I was like, Rero? I'm like, that doesn't sound right. It was not correct. It's Rexo. Running away. That's a good name, actually, Rero. We need a player called Rero.
Yeah, but that's also why it's important to take the smudges off your glasses, Max.
Actually, you know what? I always struggle to clean my glasses properly. I don't know what it is. My alcohol solution is just doesn't clean well.
You need to get some stronger dosages of that, but yep. Here we go, looking at the zone itself as, well, this is where the teams should hopefully be situated. We do see Rosa also coming through from that western side, rotating up right behind Alliance. So this is going to be an interesting one because, well, one back can potentially help just kind of sandwich Alliance over on the edge of the zone.
Yeah, Blanco. Will be able to make it in. I thought he was going to lose control of the buggy there. If one of his wheels were going to get popped, he's going to be A-okay. Moving in, parking the car. 10 out of 10. There you go. You got your driver's license. As his team now going to be looking pretty comfortable southwest of the circle near Potato Hill. There is going to be a team pushing up behind them very soon. It's going to be Team Roz. As Baby also looking to move around Team NASA. I don't think it's going to result in a crash because their position is not in circle itself, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Just like what Team Moldova did earlier. Didn't make a lot of sense, so maybe they'll commit to it for no reason whatsoever. But guess what team is in the center position of the circle here, DK? Just guess. Don't even look at the minimap. Just guess.
Ooh. 4MV.
Yeah, you're right. You got it. Yes, 4MV. Yeah, it's 4MV.
You said guess. Don't look. No look. Ooh, babang.
You had 16 options, man, and you guessed incorrectly, okay? You guessed outside of what was doable. Oh, here we go. King with the amazing ASMR skin here on the org. Will be able to do it with his teammate. Big Baby up to 4 limbs. And actually, yeah, I didn't think they were going to commit to a fight here, but actually the way they're doing this fight is very smart, kind of just leapfrogging the entirety of NASA while also taking some eliminations in the same place, and now have a decent entry point to the circle and can even gatekeep NASA, as NASA, you can see here, will have to push their direction if they want to get to the next play zone of circle 3. So far, Baby playing some big moves here, and it's been working out greatly in their favor this game.
I mean, what I also like for Big Baby here is that if you ask which NASA, you can just say yes, because there's 2 of them right there. Right,
too many.
They've got a double dose of NASA rolling on up, so it is going to be pretty intense to deal with. But we do see a few engagements happening up towards the north as the players there from Team Moldova start to gain entry as they roll on through here alongside the first one, Romania. The sprays are in. Ooh. BG just locking it up one after the other, but does get downed right then and there. And now it's up to AQE. Not really sure how to pronounce that part, but down we go. Solo left for the squad there. Big Baby, in the meantime, going to be defending the edge of the blue.
That's their game plan, but NASA understand exactly what they're dealing with. And they're going to be, trying to escape. Oh, massive shot. I thought it was a shot. No, it was the blue zone. The blue zone did get it done eventually. Could have been a shot, but no, the blue will be the one to get the nail in the coffin of one of these massive players. Circle shifting once more. Vicious. We're looking good in the previous circle. They have to go deeper in the circle once more, and they're going to be controlling the central position. That was, by the way, the answer to my question. Who was in the center of the circle? It was Vicious, and it still is Vicious to some extent. They got that central compound on the Road Valley side. And I do like this little split with Narvalu on the northern edge. This little hilltop position. A lot of free scouting done until the team decides to push on you. But I'm pretty sure when that happens, Narvalu will just regroup with his teammates. And we do have 2 crates in a dead center of the map here. So that could be some crazy good loot for anyone to pick. But it is going to be in a dangerous area. So if you go there, be careful. You might be getting completely demolished the moment you get there.
Yeah, I mean, it is the Vicious that's gatekeeping the double drop as well, right? So it's not the easiest, not the easiest drops to get your hands on, but if you get it, well done. Now it's going to be Rain, just trying to lock down the north here. As you can see, Team Moldova just rotating past them. Up comes EBL, as they are also looking for a bit of an entry point. Ooh, they are just inching closer and closer. They can see that drop. See, if it was me, I'd be running for that drop and not even looking at the players on the side here. But NASA, though, is going to be feeling the sting here as Rares comes in raring and ready to go. The vehicle finish could come in clutch here as Nebuni now just moves on up. It is absolute pressure getting applied here.
Yep, so much pressure. They're going to be playing the God Dip. The Dip. Which is always very strong if you have to fight teams to the west, east, and south, but not northern team. Northern teams typically have a pretty decent advantage against you. They can easily pop all these cars. So, Team Moldova, they should know what the weakness of this area is, and they can maybe abuse it in their favor. As now over to OnBack V2. They're going to be stuck for one of their players in the shed. It's going to be Frost. Another player also, I think, in another shed over to the west. Trying to stay hidden as much as possible, and it is going to be back here within a shed. He does get that surprise jump onto one of the players of 4 Evolution Romania. But a lot of back and forth. This southern western edge in particular is really full of squads. Kind of reaching a breaking point. Some teams will have to get eliminated eventually, and I think 4 Evo will be the one to do just that, as they're just surrounded by not just one team, but 2 squads in fact. So escaping from this one alive, unscathed, is going to be extremely rough to execute.
Yeah, but it's going to be a pretty tall order. But let's see, are they up for the challenge? As we have Alliance also starting to move in, pushing from Potato Hill. They've heard the engagements. They want to see what it's all about. Can they find the sprays? It is going to be a nice reach across the way here as Lollysoft starts to make a bit of noise. They got Genzo also just rotating about the entire team all over the place. But can Inferno maybe bring the heat here, Max? That is going to be the big question, because looking at the Romanian Evolution squad, they are just feeling the pressure now mounting upon their shoulders.
Yep, Evolution, we'll see if they can maybe make it work out in their favor, because teams are kind of, moving away from that big spread around them and actually going to be taking this fight head on. So on back V2. Yep, definitely going to try and just corral all their forces, and a lot of them actually got completely swept under the rug, so that was a really unfortunate run of events for them. Evolution Romania looking still really strong in that fight, despite them. Again, I think we're in a very dangerous position, but they come out pretty comfortably. Keeping a lot of their players actually... Oh no, I was mixing it with another team. Again, I looked at my map feed, it was a different color. I got debated. I thought it was someone else, but no, they're down to just a solo. It didn't go too well for them. On back V2 did come out on top in that engagement. And it's just going to be Frost. Maybe he can go for the res on his teammate. I would be surprised if that would actually work out. But as I say that, I think he's going to get flushed out. Actually, still not. Still alive. 3 eliminations to their name, but Vicious still in the circle as Baby now going to be holding on that position onto the downward slope of this circle. And there's a few rocks and trees there, so it is somewhat playable. But the moment a team has an idea of you being there, those nades are going to come on flying. So Baby needs to make sure they all remain undetected, or they start blasting teams to get even remotely close to their position.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and become one with the terrain over there. But it's interesting looking up towards the north just how vacant it is, right? Because do see quite a few players still holding just on the outskirts of the zone, especially Robbie there from Rain has not yet committed to pushing up into the zone just yet. But in the meantime, it is going to be Rosa now getting aggressive, and up comes NASA. We want to see that performance, but unfortunately Viper does get swept under the rug. Out they go. Ooh, Rosa feeling the heat. Sky is going to get lulled as they go down. It's now up to Zeus to see can they come thundering in with the performance here. But the Mollies is going to force them out of that little shack. Out EBL is going to be in front of them. And out they go. Kemi coming through with the carnage. Already 3 eliminations up. And this is EBL's 8th play now. Or 8th elimination so far for this match.
They do come thundering in here, DK, apparently, for EBL. Ton of eliminations indeed. This game up to 8, as just stated. Team Moldova got 13, though, so they are also looking to have a great game. Still got a solo player alive, so we'll see if they can maybe snatch away some extra placement points. We are now in the top 8 officially, meaning placement points are going to start rolling right on in. Lollysoft pushing solo, and you know what? That is what is going to be needed, as he does get assisted by EBL in the distance, so he doesn't get that point, but he does get the shed, which is going to be a decent launching point in the circle, at least temporarily speaking. As Vicious have a hovercraft for Icy, which is going to be so damn OP in this flat terrain position. That hovercraft crashed against a tree or rock, DK, and you just pretty much created yourself a mini compound to use until the very end of this match. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that hovercraft. It is going to be very impactful in the later stages of this game.
No pun intended.
Did I do a pun? What was it? I didn't realize when I said it.
As you said, crashing into a tree, and it's going to be very impactful. So yes, well played on that.
Does that count
Max.
as a pun? I don't.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll say it does. I'll say it does. In my books,
okay.
it does. So I'll give you that one. Well done. But either which way, it is going to be now up to the rest of, well, everybody else to see what they can do. Because Icy is just lurking out in the blue with that hovercraft, looking to see if they can find some potential victims. It is going to be Rain that's right there towards that northern side, but the zone has shifted. It is now just looking quite favorable here for the side of the Vicious, but that is going to be the Ibuni coming through with yet another hit. Icy taking a little bit of a position in a different kind of a compound, Max. No trees in sight.
No trees in sight. Going to be always a bit of an issue here. I mean, the thing is with this terrain here, sure, you do have some rocks and trees, but you don't have enough that it really is going to be blocking out your vision too hard. Except for this one window that Redox is looking through, apparently. This is going to be making it quite hard to spot out baby. The big babies. And I always hate the team name, though. I know I said I know these guys from a long while ago, but I do not like the team name. You have to say, the big babies. They win.
Where?
It's just, wow. Sounded like Waluigi a little bit there, but yeah, it's just... The branding is definitely memorable. If that was the intent, you know what? Congrats, you did it. It worked out as you wanted. Rain, you talked about it earlier, DK, right? A team you were heavily focused on going into these further matches, and so far they've been doing really good on this game. Able to take now further northern western control of that little hilltop north of the road, which is going to be some good angles. And look at Grodex in particular, able to turn that angle into points, into money, as he finds himself that knock onto Soft. Maybe able to confirm it right behind that tree. A lot of smoke's coming out, making it harder to actually flush them out. But BLL with a car, I think it is Kemme here, just rolling about, trying to get some easy eliminations for himself. And so far, it's kind of working out. He is scaring everyone in this position. Jumping out of the car now with the shotgun, trying to get that final elimination on the last player of Alliance. And it might just be enough to make it function in his favor, as the smokes are coming out from Lollysoft and hopefully going for the res. But unfortunately, his teammate got eliminated right in front of him. Catastrophic failure here for Alliance.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I don't know. It's a big oof right there. I'm just pretty surprised to see kind of just how they handled that whole situation. I was hoping for something slightly different to that, but I guess it is what it is. But it also is the opportunity now for Rain to see if they can apply a little bit of that pressure down onto the Vicious, who is going to be holding up pretty much in center zone. And there's only one other player that could potentially assist them. That is going to be Baban. But Baban is going to be just holding up alongside that vehicle, trying to become one with the terrain. So this could be another great opportunity for the Vicious here to become the Wishes, right? To get that win coming in.
The Wishes. We knew it would make sense to think of a word to describe a vicious win. And you know what? It's coming perfectly all circle right now in this game. This would be a back-to-back win, by the way. They would have had a third place. Chicken dinner, and only 3 matches played, which would be wild. Sure, Novalu was taken out of the picture relatively early on in this game, but you still got Redox, you got Icy, you got Doran, and if you know these names, they strike fear usually in their enemies. And you can see Baban and the entirety of Rain just scared off pushing forward because they know how scary this compound is to breach. And sure, this might be a low elimination game for Vicious, but I think we can both agree here, DK. It's quite hard to get involved in fights from this compound because you're just in this valley area. So even if players get knocked around you, chances are you can't even confirm them. So Vicious, they knew we're not going to get high elimination. Let's just survive and get a free chicken dinner, which as of right now looks like exactly what's going to be happening.
And I think especially with that that skin that Doran has on, right, those flames again, it's really difficult to spot a pixel moving, at least from our perspective, right? It's like everything is moving, so you're not quite sure whether or not you're looking at someone or at something. But Baban is going to try and just hold up as long as they can here. The Zoran is, of course, going to force their hand, and the Vicious just getting an absolutely beautiful read on the zone here, right? That compound is going to be on the money, right? So they can just sit back, relax, and just pick off whoever they can see pushing in their direction. But I think Baban is probably going to get picked up across the way here by Rain as the shots now just start making the connections. And Rain actually having a really good position on Baban.
Yeah, 3 last bandages too. Oh, no, he's not going to go for the 2 other ones. You see Rain trying to move up, so he's going to try and maybe use the opportunity to punish them. Going back for the bandages. Last 2, meaning any damage he takes from now on, he cannot heal up anymore. Oh, no, he's still... Okay, no, he's still going to have 1 more bandage, so he'll be able to heal up a little bit more damage. It's not going to be significant, but Rain, a lot of big smokes coming up, making that transition over the road just a little bit smoother to execute with the grenades. Oh, almost onto Sakalu, but you just get dropped by Icy with Rosa. Now turned into a 3v2 scenario, and Rain going to commit to 1 main building, which is the best way to go for this engagement, but the grenade is massive onto Rain. Instantly, the team not even given a fighting chance to clash with Vicious. And now putting their focus onto Baban is Vicious, going for the back-to-back chicken dinner here, becoming the true, undisputed kings of Erangel, going into these 3 matches. Oh my goodness, Vicious really being the hydrogen bomb here, DK, versus the coughing baby, and the bomb exploded in everyone's face.
Yeah, I mean, that was not too surprising, though. I mean, yes, it's a good play from them, but it's like, yeah, that's what they do, right? I mean, we were expecting to see them do that when they got into that position, but as you've pointed out, also not necessarily a super aggressive game from them. Very tactful, right? Good positioning as they've been able to kind of just get themselves in really good setups, and that paid off, scoring themselves that winner chicken dinner. But yeah, some really odd things happening in this match, right? We did see the players there from Team Moldova opting to rotate all the way up north. Yes, they ended up walking away with double-digit eliminations, so maybe there is some value added to that. Not quite sure, but very interesting game.
Yeah, also we had the hot drops that were happening. Saverni, that was quite an oddity, but yeah, Team Vicious, I think, understanding that, well, this compound, we're not going to get much done, so let's just hold down the fort until the very end of this match. And it worked out. Can't really deny too much about it. Here we go. With that said, let's check out the leaderboard, see how big of a lead has been created for our first place team. I'm telling you, it's going to start to get quite significant. 55 points for Vicious, EBL 42 points now, and then it drops down to 35 for Team Rain. They are still, fighting quite valiantly in these games, DK. And we said it, I mean, you said it in particular. I don't want to steal your vibe with Team Rain. They're currently in fighting distance of EBL and also the Vicious in first place. So Rain, they're living really fine in these games. Not quite able to always get the win, but so far it is enough to stay in that conversation. Yeah,
I mean, they're only 20 points away, so that could quite easily change. But of course, it all depends on what the Vicious decide to do over on Miramar, because we've not yet seen them play on Miramar today with these particular teams. So it's going to be an interesting one for them. I definitely love to see BLL do a little bit of something here. I mean, they went from 1 point to 2, so they are moving up, right? They have now 2 eliminations, so they essentially doubled their points in just 1 single match. Not many of these teams can say that at this point. But let's see what is going to happen as the Desert will be rotating up next.
Will BLL get 4 points next game and double their points this time around? Oh, possibly. That'll be a crazy jump up, doubling their points at this moment. It's all about the context of when you use that sentence, because doubling your points when you have 20 points is insane. 1 point, 2 points, it's not. You know what? Still doubling your points. You want to try and get as many of those as humanly possible. But yeah, Miramar, as you said, going to be coming up very soon. We had some crazy hot drops in Monte Nuevo that I'm hoping, please, we won't be seeing happen this time around for the Romanian lobby. So if you guys want to see if we're going to have some Monte Nuevo goodness, stick around. Match number 4 is coming your way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it is match number 4. I am correct. We have only 5 matches today. It's coming your way, so stick around to check it out.
Stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Yok şimdi vardıysa başka bir şey olmayacak.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekemem ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Yok şimdi vardıysa başka bir şey olmayacak.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekemem ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Can anyone put an end to the reign of terror of the vicious? Maybe heading into Miramar. We'll have to see how things are going to go on down. And my name is Maxman, still joined by DK to break down these next two matches before we wrap up the evening here for the always on Romanian monthly final season uno, which is not Romanian, that is Spanish. But you know what? That is all I know. I know no Romanian, unfortunately. And like Polish, I know a little bit. But yeah, so far, vicious popping off DK, having the best of times, right? Maybe going to keep on getting win after win going into Miramar. But I've seen potential from other teams now. Do you think it is done and dusted, or is there still a fighting chance that another team could be making that climb at the top?
I don't think it has been secured just yet, right? It's not been set in stone. So yeah, I think that there's a few contenders that could potentially look to rise up here. I mean, we could see EBL, we could see Rain, we could see Team Moldova, right? Even though they do weird things on Erangel, which oddly enough works out for them, which I don't fully understand, but we'll just go with yes. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I mean, you've also mentioned Big Baby. They could also be another potential contender for this. We could also see Rosa step it up. So I think there's a few teams that still have a great opportunity to shine, especially when we step over into Miramar.
Yeah, hopefully 4 Warriors will not be involved in a 2-minute early game fight and lose most of their players, if not every single one of their players, right? So maybe a survival time a little bit higher than 5 minutes. That would be a big improvement coming out from 4 Warriors. Show us that you can play in the mid to later game sections of this match.
I think one good way for us to kind of figure out what is going to happen here is the teams that go to Monte Nuevo, those are the ones that are going to go, that's like the Severny of Miramar, right? So don't go to Monte Nuevo. Go to any other place, but not Monte Nuevo. Even La Triera, I would consider that as not being in Monte Nuevo. So let's see how it goes.
Look, just go to Truck Stop. There's a taco shop over
Yes.
there. You can chill.
Yes.
You got food. It's a great location. You can sunbathe if you want. Just don't go to Monte Nuevo. Okay, I like the place, but it's not that good. It's clearly overrated, okay? It's got 5-star on Yelp. I don't know how it got it. I think it got bot accounts to vote for it and give it 5 stars because I'm telling you, it is not 5 stars worthy. It's a 3.5 at best. So maybe avoid it like the plague. But yeah, Miramar's going to be fun to see how things are going to be unfolding for these teams. A bit different compared to your grassy pastures. The dusty dunes are going to be where these teams are going to show if they have that potential to compete with the Vicious. And you know what? Actually, I want to go for a second here. We have some people in chat. Do we think it is done and dusted? Do we think the Vicious will be winning it, even though we still have, what is that, 7 matches still left to go? Or do we think another team can take it home? And if yes, tell us which team you think that might be. Because I'm personally still a believer that it is pretty much game over. But you know what? We'll have to see as we go through these 2 more days of action. But Miramar, I want to ask you right now, DK, Miramar, if you're going there, where are you dropping? What is your main drop location on Miramar? They just love to bits.
Ooh. Well, I mean, it depends on who I'm playing with. If it's just me playing, I have a random spot that I go to that nobody goes to, which is great for the loot. But if I go with the crew, I'm probably going up into El Pozo.
Fair enough. It's a good position. Yeah. I like it. A lot of great teams drop there. I don't like big cities like El Pozo. We're scared there's going to be some solo just hiding in a bin, and there's a lot of those in El Pozo in particular, and just ruin your entire evening. I like smaller ones, but you know what? El Pozo is definitely a very fun team. If you ever got a good squad that knows what they're doing, like when you're playing with me, for example, then yeah, it's definitely a good spot. It's definitely a good position to play around. But yeah, for me, I always go center. I go Picado. It's great. It suffers from the same issues as El Pozo. It's a very big city, but I just focus on like one part of it, which especially is the northern part with the casino. You've got the apartment buildings, and you've got also the arena. Always very fun to play, and always a lot of great cars you can transition with later on in the game. So Picado it is. With that said, I'm looking at my map feed. The plane is very high up in the sky, meaning we are going to be jumping right into match number 4. I was correct earlier. It's not match 5. I'm not getting baited by the usual 6 map rotation we have in PUBG Mobile Esports. It is only 5 maps per day. And here we're looking at all these teams. And wait, the Vicious is Is he Father Christmas? Is he Santa Claus or something? Like, what? That's an interesting way to drop on down. I love it.
Ooh. Ho, ho, ho. They're going to get a whole bag full of tricks, I guess, over there. But you said you don't know how to say 1 in Romanian. It's uno.
No, you're joking.
No, it is.
Really? Wait.
Yeah.
I'm
Uno,
gonna Google
doi,
check that.
tre. Tre. Uno, doi, tre. That's 1, 2, 3. Let's see if I can read
It's
properly.
It's unu. It says not uno.
Yeah, unu.
Unu.
Uno, yes. Well, there we go. Uno. Uno, doi, tre.
Doi. Okay, so tomorrow I can do the intro. Day doi. Day doi.
Yes.
Doi.
Good luck on that one. That's going to trip up your tongue quite a bit, as Novello has tripped up right over there as well. But at least they're going to get raised up. But you see still a few teams parachuting on down. And, I mean, even with all those things happening, we already have lost 1 team already, Max.
Already? Damn, we're speed running this game, it seems. And was it in Monte Nuevo? I didn't look at Monte Nuevo. Could be. Could be Montenovo.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know what's happening to Narvalo. He's always the first one to get eliminated, it seems, for the Vicious. It's just a trend I've been witnessing. The one French guy here playing, he's always taking heavy casualties. But yes, icy this time, but he's still getting knocked and getting just taking a lot of damage. We got 3 limbs. You know what? Getting knocked, but you get 3 limbs, Narvalo. That's the redemption arc we love to see for the French. Oh, yeah, the French.
Well, we'll find out soon how this is going to pan out for a lot of the teams. I mean, see, so I was right in saying don't go to Montenuevo, right? Because that's where the Vicious went. And it's not going to be a very nice spot to go. El Pozo, though, is looking quite decent here. Even though we have 3 squads currently occupying the space. We have Big Baby. We've got NASA. We've got the Romanian Evolution squad in here as well. So, curious to see whether or not Robbie is going to get rezzed up, or is Robbie going to get robbed of their health bar? That is going to be the big question here, Max.
It's going to be bleeding out. This is going to take a while. Oh, okay. He wants to leave and get to his teammate, but he knows he leaves that wall, he's done. Please, can you stop looking for like a second? No, he's just going to bleed out. This is very, very slow elimination coming through.
It's like it's like almost waiting for a snail to catch up to you.
Yeah, like for paint to dry.
It's coming. It's coming. How far is it now? No, pretty much the same spot, but it's approaching. It's almost here. How much longer? Oof, could be days. Who knows?
Makes me think of that question of like, what would you do if you were immortal? But you had a snail that is always coming your direction. Nothing can stop it, but the moment it touches you, you die. Where would you go? Ooh. What would you do? What would be your plan, DK?
Try circle the globe. On foot.
Hey. On foot?
Yeah, because you can literally do it at a snail's pace and you will still be around. You're in no rush.
I mean, yeah. You could do that. I would just fly to the opposite side of the earth for like a month. If not, maybe a year vacation, and then go to the other side and just ping pong.
Maybe like 10 years or something. It's like,
yeah, maybe. Yeah, you know, I don't know how many years. You know what? That's a Google question. How many years would it take for a snail to circle the globe? Question mark.
I want to see predictions in the chat. If anybody knows before you tell us.
What the hell? Okay, that's way higher than I expected. Okay, well, if you get that correctly, okay. Give me a guess, chat and DK. Tell me, how much do you guys think it is?
I'd say 13. Just a random guess.
But what? What? 30 what?
13, 1-3.
Oh, 13, but what? Days?
Years.
Years.
Or snail.
Okay, so no.
Yeah.
Apparently, if he's going at the same pace the entire time around the equator, 98 years.
Wow. Almost a century.
Yes,
wow.
So pretty much a century. That's... Okay, well, I'm glad I'm not a snail when trying to... walk? Yeah. No, not walk. Sneak my way around the world like that.
I mean, you could do what Strohs is doing here and have a slightly more higher pace. Go to... just the property next door and, have dinner. And the snail will almost still be exactly where it was.
Yeah, that was a weird topic, but I was very curious. I was like, I need to know. I've brought up this question upon myself. I need to know the answer, and it is a century. So now, if you want to have some fun, you may ask the question to your relatives, to your friends, and they will never know. And it will just be a fun conversation starter. Maybe don't use it on a first date. It might be a bit of a weird one, and she might run away. Or he, never know. With that said... Here we go. I don't know, man. I was just going on an absolute tangent. Nothing was happening, so I was just like, these hot drops, they get on my nerve. I'm going to talk about something completely different for Evos. So they are just going to allow them to leave Big Baby, which is always nice. A little bit of a handshake, like, yep, this is a waste of time. Let's just let this go. It's not worth it. And so far, the two teams be winning. The two teams are taking a dub after leaving that one unfinished.
There's also a similar thing happening down in Via del Mar between NASA Gaming and On Back version 2. Here they are, just chilling, having fun in the sun, getting a tan.
What happened to On Back version 1? What happened to them? Where are they?
They went back.
But then if they went back, they would be On Back version 0.
Or on back again.
But then it's -1.
Who knows, Max? Math is difficult.
Yes.
So many questions, so little answers.
Yeah, I got a -2 out of 20 in math once. I don't want to talk about it. That was my lowest point in high school. Not a great time.
Yeah.
Not a great time. Okay, NASA. This is, to be fair, normally I always have something to talk about in these games, and I'm like, I can talk about so many different topics. It's the desert. There's nothing to talk about. It's just the slowest pace. We had a few little clashes. It resulted in nothing except for the Vicious. They got 4 eliminations for themselves, which is big, versus Team Moldova. And now it's just absolute silence. The snail is chasing down everyone, trying to take their lives. But it'll take ages.
Yeah, they'll get there eventually. I mean, but so 98 years. I don't even think a snail lives that long.
Now
So
I
that
want to
would be
Google
a
that.
very
Now I
ambitious
want to.
goal.
How long does a snail? My
I think
Google's on
it's like
overdrive right now.
2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. It's not particularly long. I guess it depends on the variety of snails you go for. But
2 to 7
Got
years
answers
in the
and
wild,
action.
but some can go up to 15 years.
wow,
Quite impressive. Didn't know about that.
take
4
a few
warriors
generations.
though, trying to escape again, taking some heavy casualties earlier on in the early stages of Erangel. And here Big Baby being relentless on the chase. They're trying to get that one, and they will confirm it indeed. Christian out of the match. And finally some action here, GK. We got some stuff going down on Miramar. Ooh.
Ooh, excitement. Excitement, exactly what we love to see. And let's see where King and the rest is going to go. I'm curious as to what the 27 here represents. Is that something exciting? Maybe a secret code to punch in while you're playing this game to have this vehicle go interstellar. We don't quite know just yet, but we'll see in due course. Of course, EBL now starting to move up as well. And that zone, Max, a very hard eastern shift. I mean, Impala almost being in center zone.
Yep, Impala, Eastern Los Leones. In particular, what's going to be interesting about Los Leones is going to be those big high ground mountain pillars to the east of the city. Those, you get up there, scouting-wise, you're going to be looking good. You're going to see where every single team is going to be headed. And you'll know, based on the next circle, what move you can make, what transitions you can use to your advantage in this game. So, you'll see Vicious are there. There's going to be Roz also. Potentially some other teams like NASA, On Back V2 could be headed that way. So keep an eye out on Eastern Los Leones. It's going to be very impactful for some of these teams, at least on the mid-game scouting stage.
But I think Vicious are definitely going to try for that, right? Because that's where they went in Rondo, right? Exactly the same kind of setup.
Pretty much. Same setup. You know how it worked before. They can try and use it to their advantage once again here on Miramar. Blanco falling to his doom, apparently. Not sure what happened over there. But it's only phase 2 blue zone. You can tank it. You can take the damage. You can get rezzed up by your teammates. It is fine. Don't think that's going to result in a premature death on his side. As the Vicious, again, looking pretty stacked in terms of loot. They dropped up pretty center into Montenuevo, got himself their squad wipe, got all of the Montenuevo loot for themselves, and now they're looking locked and loaded here, east of Los Leones.
Doran just out here making some noise. Spotted that door, and I think Doran wasn't a big fan of that door, right? He was just like, let's put the shots in, but now the shots are raining down on their vehicle as well. It does seem like it is EBL who we have just across the way there. So a nice little bit of a range altercation coming through between the squads. We do see Rosa also finding themselves in a bit of a situation. It is going to be none other than NASA Extreme that is going to be going toe-to-toe with them on that southern approach. Also then Alliance making a push in up towards the zone as well. So slowly but steadily these teams are starting to converge into the zone. Still quite a few squads having to rotate quite a long way to get them in, but that nade though, on the money. Don did this over in Erangel as well.
Yeah, it was slowly but steadily, and now it's going to be real speedy in these fights here in the warehouse. It's going to be Rosav Lea taking the brunt of the engagement. It's going Still got 4 players alive. 2 eliminations to their name. Now with the pump. Oh, peeking through that window again on the ledge. Could be big enough. And they all peek at the same time. Not even giving him a fighting chance. Now that is team play. But they are going to get slightly third-partied off the western side. So I think getting that res onto their teammate Dennis is going to be rough. And they even lose Zeus in the process. So unfortunately, what looked like a very good engagement got completely ruined by a sneaky third party. They just had no idea what was going to happen in the first place. So good attempts, but unfortunately here, one team just came up at the wrong time for you and are going to be looking to fully commit and take that warehouse away from you.
Well, let's see. Can they hold on? Are we going to see that full send, or is it going to go in a completely different direction? Now the vicious Doran just kind of running forward, but then returning back. Is like, maybe I don't want to go there just yet. So I like this engagement. I mean, it is bringing us a little bit of excitement here, of course. Alliance. Another thing I noticed about them is, well, they're all soft, Max. You got Bubu soft, Fast soft, Genzo soft, and Lolly soft. So maybe they use Stay Soft when they do their laundry. But in the meantime, it is going to be Don now getting thrown a few nades as well as Genzo comes just popping through the windows. Let's see if Alliance can align themselves with the angles required to take them down. The pressure is on, but Rosa is not going to give up just yet. Look at Buru getting hit with those nades. Gotta watch out for Don, though.
Boo Boo being a softie right now. Not able to get those knocks. Onto Don. Nades being chucked left, right, and center. And he goes. Also has a Molotov to try and use behind that door frame. But no, he's going to be having to reload. Almost losing his life in the process. But the nade is right on the money. Lollysoft getting Skylol. And now Alliance down to a trio. Still should be able to get that res and should be able to win this fight. They do have a massive man advantage now in a 1v4. But be careful. This building is going to be very treacherous. You can give many 1v1s if you're not careful. As now... Fast off, pushing it solo, and exactly what I was talking about, using that door frame to its full potential now. Bubusoft going to be pushing again as a solo, the same mistake being done twice in a row, hopefully. Not going to be causing the demise of Bubusoft here. But on the other side, we do see Don using that first aid, so he's going to be looking healthy once more. He nades his own teammate, apparently Alliance. A lot of miscommunication, DK. It looked really good at the start, but here, fumble after fumble, Don maybe given an opportunity to pull off a massive 1v4 in this fight. And does it once again, he gets Lollysoft. Now to Bubusoft. They'll be looking for the 1v4. He's going to get pushed up from 2 angles at once. He's got the pump, finds a third player. Bubusoft and 1v1 through the window. Don 1v4 right now for Romania. Oh my goodness. What did we witness?
That's insane, Max. That's insane. I mean, you warned them. Be careful of that doorway. And that is exactly what transcribed here. So... insane predictions, Max. I don't think you were joking when you said you could see into the future. It just came into full fruition right there. But now it is going to be the players from the Vicious that is going to be feeling a little bit of that pressure start to bolt on up. It is going to be Big Baby just poking in from the far side here. But EBL has rushed right up onto the door. As you can see, Baban trying to reach on in, but is met with a few sprays down over here. Not going to be able to continue that, at least not for the time being. Let's see whether or not the Vicious and the players there from EBL will be able to settle the disputes. I mean, this could be a beautiful third party coming through from Big Baby.
I feel like I could have casted that 1v4 better, but I caught myself, DK, getting angry mid-cast. I was like, I know what's going to happen, and I don't like it. And it kept giving multiple 1v1s. It was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Don, you still played it very well, but you should never have been given that situation in the first place. That opportunity, should I say, in the first place. But you know what? It was just meant to be for Don, and I didn't peek in the future for that one. I wanted to have a spoiler-free game of Miramar, and I was heavily surprised. NASA Gaming, with a logo that looks, for some reason, like Na'Vi very heavily. I thought it was Na'Vi a few times. I was like, God, it really looks like Na'Vi. It's just going to be Christy and Hugo Boss. Now, holding on strongly versus Bling. The nade. Oh, beautiful blind grenade. Perfectly positioned. Finding himself that knock. And the flush is going to be happening. Stolen away, actually, from a player from Rain. That, looking at the minimap, they got this massive spread angle northwest. So even if you win this fight as NASA or the other NASA, chances are you're not going to survive because you have no escape route. Unless you can find some eliminations, which right now they're going right onto Grodex. And he's going to be trying to hit those shots. Spicy, though, extremely low. One bullet will put them right into the nursery. And he will have to hide behind that ridge. Grodex will find it. Spicy is out. Down to just Christy, the sole survivor of NASA. trying to take that 1v1.
Yeah, pretty tough position to be in here, especially now for Chrissy. Could still maybe try and get that res on their teammate, but look at the vehicles getting thrown at them as rain just rains down. Some interesting rotations here, but up comes Kagalu. Let's see whether or not this is going to be the end for Chrissy. Indeed, it is, and that is going to be Grodex coming through with a finishing blow. Now, 4 eliminations up here for the side of Rain. On backs, though, going to be holding over on towards the southwestern side, and they find themselves in a bit of a position here, right? They've got the Romanian Evolution team just alongside them up towards that northern side, and of course, Rosa down towards the south. You got to watch out for Don. We did see what Don could do in a 1v4 situation, giving a bit of a shotty, but now, will that happen yet again? Again, a very interesting spread across the zone here, Max.
Yep, decent spreads here for all of teams. I'm looking at the southern eastern side. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Team Rain. Also, they've always done that. It's like these big spread plays around the edge of the circle, and they just keep kind of pushing teams inwards and just trying to get elimination after elimination off the back of that. It's been very successful for them so far today. I mean, look, they're in third position, 39 points. They're definitely very healthy in these leaderboards. But will they be able to convert that into a win? Because Vicious, they're down to a duo. EBL down to, well, a nothing. Oh, no players alive. They're completely eliminated. So Rain are given an opportunity to here not only just get a win, but also close that gap with Vicious significantly, and also potentially overtake EBL in second place. So a lot to win here, a lot at stake for the lads of Team Rain. And again, I have to highlight, I don't want to steal your mojo here, DK, because you did say Rain were the team you were looking at, and right now they are living up to your expectations, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, so far, so good. Let's see how it goes. We still have a little bit of a way to go. But
look at that split too. Rodex.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, he's so far.
Yeah, trying to take on as much as they can get in here. But on back is going to be bumping into a few little pebbles along the way. We do say goodbye to BLL as they would start to make their way out of here. Now it is going to be the full Warriors that are going to be moving up on that northern approach as well. But the Vicious, though, they just kind of keeping it chill, right? They're not moving, not making too much noise, just trying to survive, especially with their 7 eliminations. Oh, no, Christian got Don. Down goes Don. The insane 1v4, 4v1 player. And we saw just a few moments ago. Unfortunate to have that happen, but it's going to happen at some point.
Yep, it was. I mean, as a solo, you can only go so far. But you know what? They're still going to be... Yeah, I would say that was the best fight we've had so far this entire tournament here, right? Like, even Poland included. I would say that was going to be the best fight we've witnessed. So, yeah, definitely some good clips. Definitely, you know what, Don, please, if you're listening, post it on your Instagram. I'm telling you, that's going to get some views. That is a clutch moment indeed. Big Baby, though, defending this Western Impala compound. Getting pushed up by 4 Warriors that are making it far in this game for once. Quite rare. We didn't see it really happen on Erangel, but it's happening this time around on Miramar. Good to see. Yeah, I believe his name is Gypsy. And also, can't quite catch his name. DVOU? We'll call him U. Or is it Dive? No. DV? I'm not sure. But you know what? He's eliminated. So you know what? That's going to make my job way easier. I don't have to say his name anymore. Gypsy, sole survivor for 4 Warriors. Smokes instantly coming out as a response. As Grodex also taking his own fight on the eastern edge of the map named Impala. So they're going to be involved in a big skirmish. This Big Baby, you can't really leave at this point. Just try and nade that position if you can. Otherwise, stay inside, because otherwise you just saw that teams south of you are going to be trying to eliminate you ASAP. So Big Baby's got to be very cautious. A lot of teams are currently eyeing their location.
Yeah, that is definitely quite a bit of a name there for that player from the 4 Warriors, right? It's OVYDU.
Yeah, it was like, are you supposed to pronounce it a certain way? I'd be like, what?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to know, though. But in the meantime, we are going to be looking over at the Romanian squad here. Ooh, Max, they've got an elimination. Oh, and then they get met with a nade. Unfortunate, but they can at least now say that they've added it on board. Garrison was the one to get that elimination secured before getting eliminated themselves. You see Bling also getting pressured a little bit there down towards the southern side. Rodex trying to do as much as they can. But look at the spread coming through from Rain here. Maybe a little bit too aggressive, I would say, for this phase of the game.
Maybe.
But
I just want to hype it up. That was a 1v3 from Grodex, DK. That was... He just got the double nade into a solo car drive-by, goes in the backseat of the buggy, literally no care whatsoever, and just gets what looks like the easiest one. I think he did it while sleeping. He was sleeping and got that 1v3. I don't know. It was just some wild moves from Grodex. That was split as a solo for the longest portion of this game from the rest of Team Rain. So Grodex just being a completely different beast this match, it seems. As the Vicious lost everyone except for Radox and Narvalo. And Narvalo, again, he was taking some early casualties earlier on. And this time he's able to survive a little bit deeper in this game. So let's see if he can perform as the Garage now. Romanian Evolution do rock up. And Narvalo pushing out in the open. But, oh, very nice. Okay, so he's going for the smoke play, getting a little bit closer in nade range to then try and nade this little position. But it is a Garage. They're not easy to grenade from that kind of range. You've got some rooms you can't nade from that angle. So I would say hold on to your utility here, Narvalo. It's not worth wasting it on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Narvalo has been dormant for a little while, but good to see them waking up as well. So maybe they're going to apply that final push coming into the last bit of the zone. King, though, has been popping off max. 6 eliminations already secured as an individual for this team here. So things are looking pretty good for them. And then we've got Grodex there, just looking to do a little bit more over on the side. It's going to be Blanco and the rest of On Back just, oh, now getting spotted on back as X6 gets picked up. Narvalo is now going to start to, well, heat up the pressure.
The pressure is on. Man, Rain just keep popping off. Those shots I would love to see their POV sometimes when they're taking these mid to long range sprays, because the moment they start spraying, they instantly get those knocks, it seems. They're so quick with it. So absolutely loving what they're doing. And the amount of control is, again, just overwhelming for this lobby. I wish you guys could see the minimap right now, but they have this beautiful semicircle over to the east, which is just great at gathering information, but also if a team moves, they can instantly respond and get close to each other, because they're really not that split. It's like we're talking less than 50 meters between each player, meaning that if a fight comes their way, instant response back as a full-man squad, and they are ready to clash. But here we go, actually talking about it. There's going to be also a fight coming through with Narvalo popping off with the Org. He does have 3 grenades, which I would love to see being used. These fighting players in dips, which could make it a very easy elimination on his way. But no, he's going to stick to his trusted aim as he spots the player that was knocked, confirming that elimination up to 8, just shy of the double-digit elimination game.
Yep, they might reach that very, very soon. As we know, the Vicious are quite vicious when they decide to be. Now it's going to be Frosty just holding up alongside their vehicle. Fortunately, it's not going to go boom. That might still maybe cause quite a bit of difficulty here for them. Are we going to see some flames and things come out of that? Because, yep, there we have it. Frosty now just managing to avoid the devastating damage. Does take quite a big chunk of that, but Rain starting to move up. That is going to be the goat signal for Christian to move in to see if they can clutch it up. But look at the hits, though, on Redox. Max super low on health.
He's going to be in a bit of a bad spot, but he finds himself back into a pretty decent spot, so he can res himself back up to health. There you go. First aid is going to be pulled. Big Baby, though, still in this garage. They have 1 car in a very healthy condition, so they can still transition elsewhere if they need. But Vicious, I'm looking at them now. You got Rain, you got Big Baby. They're in the circle. You're not. You have to push up. Who are you going to rock on? Are you going to rock on Rain? Are you going to try and hold on to a decent position where you don't have to really fight for it? Or are you going to go onto Rain's position? There's a lot of options here. They've got to pick one and commit to it as a duo. I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be, because currently it is going to be a 4v4v2. So Vicious, you're not in control. You've got to be respectful. And I know you might not want to be respectful because, again, you're one of the best, you're a team of the best players in the world out there. So what is going to be your approach? I have no idea. What would you do, DK, in their shoes? Because right now, Vicious, they have options, but not sure which one to pick.
In this one, I mean, I don't have the capability, so I would just try and survive as long as I possibly could, right? But, you know, looking at who we're looking at, Redox and Novello, I mean, they probably have some big brain play in mind, right? They are probably just going to out-strategize the living goodness out of the zone. So we'll find out soon. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the angle that they were going for. But looking at what Rain's doing so far, I think that they are going to be posing quite a bit of danger or threat to the play for the Vicious.
I mean, 2-2 split, I think, is the perfect way to play for Rain. Keeping eyes on not only Big Baby, but also Vicious at the same time, while also having vision on each other. So if you do get in danger, like, for example, if Vicious decide to push on the 2-2 split, southern split of Rain, the two of the players, Grodex and Sakalu, can see that happening and get involved at a distance, at range. So this is so far, in my opinion, the perfect 2-2 split coming out from Rain. And it's great to see that this 4-man split going into a 2-2 split is really good. But Grodex moving up a little bit too... a little bit too rash at that moment and going to be picked off over the ridge. And that's going to give it a huge opportunity, a huge advantage for Big Baby to jump on and claim for themselves, as they're going to be rocking up onto that ridge and now taking a fight versus Sakalu, who still has a solo. And Vicious love this. They see this fight happening. They're like, we don't have to fight. We should get an easy top 2 and then we can fight whoever survives. So right now, Vicious are given a golden ticket, possibly, for another chicken dinner today, DK. Possibly that could make it a back-to-back-to-back win.
Oh, here we go. Are they going to be allowed to get the turkey going here? Will they stop at just the 2 when the chicken dinners? I mean, they could quite comfortably do it at this point, but it's all going to depend on what Big Baby and Rain are going to be doing at this point. The elimination count is quite high, though, for Rain and Big Baby. Both teams sitting in excess of the double digits. So how will this one unravel? The zone is going to pop momentarily, but it is going to be Redox, though, with the opener up onto Christian. And this could be that opportunity now for an absolute bulldoze to come through from the side of the Vicious here.
I really thought Redox and Narvalo were just going to play it silent, but I forgot who I was talking about. Of course, they're going to want to get some eliminations with a few grenades if they can. They do find a play of Rain. That's going to be bumping up those numbers a little bit. Nice angle from Overladdie. Able to get himself that cheeky position under the car and get himself that flush confirm. 11 eliminations. Could be looking to get close to those 15 elimination wins if they can go and claim every single life remaining in this lobby. But Robbie, the man himself, is going to be on the other side of this ridge. Not going to be there for long because the blue is now pushing in. It's circle number 9, DK, meaning we are going to be entering the final phase of this game. Dead center is where the circle will be shifting. As Vicious Redox still has a car. Looking pretty good. Going to be joining up on Narvalo, but will be picked off by Baban. Great headshot. Instantly going into a flush. Narvalo taking severe damage, having to go and retreat. Heal up with that final first aid, possibly of this game for him, as he's not going to have a lot of time and now stuck in a 1v4. He has to deny, and he does exactly that. Big Baby to claim our 4th chicken dinner of the evening in style.
Yeah, I mean, well played by them, right? They had the numbers to support them all the way to that final stage of the game. And unfortunately for them, the last 2 eliminations escaped them. The blue getting the better of that. So a very tactful play and quite a shift in the pacing from what we've seen back in game number, well, over on Rondo and Erangel.
Definitely. I mean, it's been a very interesting, slow-paced game from start to finish of this match. I'm very happy with how Big Baby played it. Very opportunistic on Grodex. You get that opening knock. You fully capitalize on that one opening you created for yourself, and you claim the win off the back of that. So beautiful, beautiful stuff from Big Baby. But how high is that going to put them in the leaderboards? Let's check it out, lads, to see exactly what the hell is going on the Big Baby side of things. As currently they are standing strong on the podium in 3rd position, still behind Team Rain, still behind the Vicious. That, by the way, when we look at it, pretty much this last game, DK, the top 3 teams were our top 3 teams also in the leaderboards of that previous match. So Vicious, Team Rain, Big Baby, just missing EBL, but it seems like these are the 4 main big teams that are going to be competing for that championship.
Yeah, I mean, any of these top 4 teams can definitely make quite a bit of an impact with regards to those scores. There's not that much separating them. I mean, only 19 points between... No, that's 21. 21 points between 1st and 2nd. So again, that gap could be closed up quite easily, especially in this last match. But it has to happen now if they want to stand a chance. But also the Vicious could pull a moneymakers, right? They could go for gold in this last match of the day and finish on triple digits themselves. So that would be quite an exciting one to see either which way. But yep, there's a lot of movement still available on the overall standings.
Yeah, we're not even at the halfway point, right, of the Romanian side of things for the always-on tournament. So there's still a lot of opportunities to be had for these teams, except in Severny and Montenuevo. There's no opportunities for you over there except death. That is all you're going to be finding in those compounds, in those cities. But yeah, so far, Big Baby, all these top teams have been very happy with how they've performed. And hopefully we can see another great performance from these squads entering in our final 5th match of the day. So stick around. You don't want to miss out.
Gördüm. Algresona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Algresona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Algresona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Algresona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
gördüm. Algresona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Algresona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Let's go! Guys, it's match number 5 of the day. We're about to reach the halfway point of the always-on Romania PUBG Mobile tournament here. We've been having a great day on day one. It's been a bit of a hectic Miramar. We got 1v4. We got some great clutch moments happening at the very end of that game, DK. But now one more game of today remains. And are we going to see a team outside of the top 4 get a win? That is my hope, to see a bit of a closer competition. But right now the trend is just those guys are the main characters of this lobby, it seems.
Yeah, they do seem to have a little bit of that main character thing happening over there. But the big question is that I will ask you then, right, seeing that you're hoping for one of the potential teams outside of the top 4, is which one would you then like to see to get there? Are you Max is on the roll, as you can see him just sliding off.
I realize my chair is rolling, my room is a bit of an angle, and I unstuck the wheels for a second. I was like, what's going on? So I stuck it. We're good. I'm not moving. Sorry. Continue.
So which team would you like to see then? All right, because we've got Rosa, we've got Team Moldova, we've got NASA Esports, and of course On Back and Romanian Evolution, as well as Alliance, right? Those are the 6 teams outside the top 4. So who would you like to see potentially contest that?
I would say On Back V2. I think the later matches, I haven't seen too much from them, but at the start of the day, I think it was Rondo and the first Erangel. They had some interesting plays, which didn't always result in a win, but it's like, okay, there's something a bit unusual about this team. So I would say On Back V2, just because for the pure novelty of how I was seeing them play in those earlier matches. So yeah, On Back V2, I'm supporting it. Maybe V1 could have won the entire thing, but they're not here today, so V2 is all we have. So yeah, I'm gonna go On Back V2. What about you? Which team down there are you focused on? Because otherwise you're winning. You said Team Rain and they're doing great, but outside of that,
I would probably go with Team Moldova, right? If you're looking at teams in the top 10. But one team that I would love to see just step it up, not necessarily, like I wouldn't say no if they got to win a chicken dinner, but I just want to see them just like up the ante even more so, would be Alliance, right? I'd love to see Alliance just bring in as much as they can in this final match of the day.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Alliance pop off this time around, get a little bit more presence in this game. They currently are standing on, if the leaderboard's updated, 11 points, right? So quite low for themselves, but there's still some room for opportunities. I mean, number 1 rank is 73 points with Vicious. Well, you have to do your points times 10. You know, we talked about a team doubling their points down at the bottom of the leaderboards. You have to do that times 10 now.
Easy.
Easy.
Did you see Don?
Easy?
Did you see Don, Max? Can we forget what Don did in that last game? That was absolutely insane. Yes, I know Don is not an Alliance, but I mean, we could talk about that though, right? Don absolutely popping off in an insane performance. Rosa doing phenomenal things here. But yeah, it's all going to come down to what this final match is going to bring, where the flight path is going to take them, and whether or not the zone is going to be kind to these players, or is it going to be a little bit mean?
I want it to be mean. You know what? That last game, the early game was too slow. It was too passive. I didn't like it. What did we see? A peace treaty? Hell no. Okay? We want war between these teams. We want to see who's going to be the very best, like no one ever was. And this time around, we'll have to see how the playing path is going to be going. With that said, guys, the map is ready. So we're going to be diving on right on in on our last game of the evening. And then we'll be reaching the halfway point of the Always On Romania Monthly Finals Season 1. Playing Minas del Valle all over La Cobreria on the northern edge. Eastern side, we did have quite a few teams, right, DK, dropped there in game 1 on a Miramar. So maybe they'll have to rethink their drop location. But what does scare me is Montenuevo, El Pozo, it's near the plane, even Valle del Mar. So literally all the hot drops could happen once more. How many of them are going to be having a second time occurrence?
It's all about getting them, Max, right? So because if you want to be the very best, like no one ever has, right? You just got to go find your opponents and you got to catch each and every single one of them off guard, right? You got to try and catch every one of them, all of them even, off guard if you can. Is that going to happen? Are we going to see a mass hot drop? The answer obviously is no, as we can see a lot of the teams starting to get themselves situated. We do have the first one, Romania, finding themselves in a bit of a situation down in that far southern side. Maybe a potential repeat of what we had back in the previous match. Doran just testing out the weapons there. Oh, the shots are raining on down, and that is going to be NASA that hot dropped up in Montenuevo. I think they did it again, Max. No. That was Team Moldova. that hot dropped with Vicious in the previous match?
Why? They never learn. It keeps on happening. You're hot dropping the best team in the lobby. Do you not want to win? Do you like losing? It's just a genuine question. Do you like taking L after L after L? Because that's what you're asking for, hot dropping the Vicious. With Doran, Narvalo, Redox, IC. Their names alone should strike fear in their enemies' eyes. And yet they're like, we'll do it once more. Even though sure it was Team Moldova, right, on the last game.
Yep.
So it is a bit it's a bit different. But maybe they were expecting Moldova to drop there again. And kind of subvert expectations by third partying that fight. But that's still so bloody risky. Here we go, though. The Vicious pushing up the staircase. They do take one knock onto Doran, but it's still going to be enough to push up the stairs the entire way. And that is going to be elimination numero dos secured. Or due in Romanian, I believe, if you said that earlier, right, DK?
Yep.
Locked in. So, yeah. Why would you do this hot drop? I don't know. They did it. They lost. Take the L. Go home.
Yeah, maybe re-strategize, right? Don't do it again, right? And also just Montenegro should just have like a no entry boundary unless it is in center zone, because yeah, it's an interesting spot. I'm happy to see that Team Moldova decided to go to Hacienda del Patron instead, so that does put them in another kind of a situation alongside the players there from EDL. But we are yet to see what is going to come through from that. BLL also holding over onto the far side. And a quick look back at what Marco did. Looking to play a little bit of polo over here as he got the shots on in. Get the confirmation going. But now they got to take it one level further, right? There's no going back here unless it's on back. You have to rush. You have to apply the pressure to get them out of these buildings.
Yeah, really good dodges also from Marco, able to short get himself that knock into a flush, but then while getting shot at, having some really good strafing left and right. So the strife strat is looking good. Yeah, and by the map, always going to be a little bit of a point of contention for some teams. And here for On Back V2, they're looking to fight it once more, tooth and nail. Frost and X6. Soul Survivors now for their respective team. Frosty here, now in a 1v1 with the Uzi, swapping on over to the QBZ, but it's just not going to be enough, it seems. And X6, Soul Survivor, not going to be able to get the res on his teammate. I would say the best strat would be to just run, but our first one, Romania, going to allow that to happen in the first place? I do not think so. And indeed, now they have the information. He's still there, lingering behind that wall, sticking around for way too long. He has that one nade, that one Molotov, does a little bit of damage onto one of the players, but unfortunately we just know the outcome is just looking really grim, and that is going to be it. On Back V2 sent right back to the lobby, and 4 eliminations picked up for first one Romania.
Yeah, unfortunate there for X6 that there was not a lot of ROI on that utility usage, right? I mean, did find a bit of damage, but I don't think that there was anywhere close to enough on that. But that is what it is. A tough start here to the final match for them. At least they walk away with that one elimination. Now we get to take a look here at the 4 Warriors to see what they are going to be bringing for us, as they are situated quite far up towards the north, essentially up in La Cobreria. So they are sharing this position with the Romanian squad just over on the side, but up comes Rain as they are smack dab center zone. EBL is going to be right there alongside them as well, so they have to be careful not to overextend themselves too much. But for the time being, it will work out.
It'll be enough. I would love to see a team actually control the eastern side of Crater Fields. I think that you just talked about Rain that was around this area. They're moving up even more north, getting relatively close. So if they want, they could take a cheeky little angle on top of eastern Crater Fields Mountain, which is always great. Just for scouting, you don't even have to shoot when you're up there. You just get a decent scope. Even a 3x, 4x would be enough just to gather information and just know where teams are coming in from, and have a car parked up there. And if you have to leave, get in the car, move on down. You are good as can be. Though, yeah, you said there were some teams up north. There's one player from RO, I believe, right now. In Oasis. He's in Oasis right now. He's almost off the map, but no, he's just chilling up there as Marjan. Having a good time, taking a little dip in an Oasis. Is it a mirage? We'll never know. We'll never know.
Yeah,
actually,
he's
have you ever had
a...
have you ever had a Oasis finish, DK, in Miramar?
Once.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very long ago. Very, very long ago.
Very
I'd say
jealous.
at least, I don't know, like 6 years ago.
Whoa. Wait, was there even Oasis updated in Miramar back then? Because Oasis was not always there on Miramar.
Yeah.
Or like
It's
you mean
been-
in the area, but not in the updated Oasis, I guess you mean.
No,
right?
no. It was Oasis. I mean, like it's been a long time. I can't tell you exactly how long it's been because I don't even know what happened yesterday. No, I'm joking. Obviously, I do. We were here. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good while. Unfortunately, I didn't mark it on my calendar, Max. So,
It's all good.
But it's been a good long while.
I just heard. I just heard Oasis and 6 years ago, and my spidey sense tingled. I was like, that doesn't line up in my mind. Oh well, they're definitely a fun position. I would love to witness an esports game over in that area one day. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe this game. Maybe not. I don't think so. But you'd have to have a lot of northern shifts in a row for that to happen. Crater Fields talked about it earlier. Big Baby's going to be holding on the northern eastern edge, and Rain. They went up with Christian, which is what I was expecting them to do, but now that another team is up there also, it's just not worth taking this super long Cold War fight. It's just going to last for so long. You're going to use up a lot of resources for very little gain sometimes, depending on when the circle goes. And you're still in circle 1. You could shift away next circle, and then the entire setup is just falling apart instantly.
Max, Don took down Narvello.
No way!
Yeah. Right there.
The legend.
As you can see, just outside the edge of zone. But now it is going to be a potential positive finish, or maybe even Crater Fields. As we did see that zone shift going over towards the western side. The Romanian squad now just laying into Rain up ahead of them. Ooh, Don. Yeah, Don is not going to be able to get another crazy 1v4 bit of action going. As, well, Don is gone.
Don gone.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh, he's like he's done. He's done. He's like that was. I was trying to learn from you, DK, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're making progress, Max.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I've learned from the best. Yeah. Yeah. Big western shift we did see, by the way, towards El Pozo Crater Field area. Trailer Park not going to be really a part of this game. Only has like a few cheeky little warehouses, one warehouse and a few sheds over to the east of it in play, but it's not going to be really much to work around whatsoever. But now, because of this very hard western shift, that means that all of the eastern teams are going to have to go for these or direct pivots in the center of the circle, or they're going to have to go for a wider northern or southern rotate, which is what we've seen from teams like Vicious, ROZ. We're seeing also the likes of for Romania 1 doing the similar rotation. Team Rain also got himself for a big 3-1 split, if I'm not mistaken. Having Grodex still left behind, which we saw what he could do in the last game, right, DK? Grodex as a solo was popping off, getting himself so many strong angles, even a 1v3 with a grenade and a backseat position in his buggy. And there's going to be a lot of teams behind them, so Rain's got to be a little bit cautious. If they do make it in a circle, which I don't see why they wouldn't be able to, there might be some teams having a very similar idea as to what you're doing currently, so make sure your back end is safe and sound.
I don't think that Grodex is going to be stressed at all whatsoever at this point. I mean, I like that split coming through from them, but I'm going to be looking over towards that, just for at least for the time being, over on towards that northeastern side with all the engagements that we had there for the Romanian squad. EBL, we do see the players there from Team Moldova also holding on the edge. We got NASA. 2 of the NASA teams holding just outside of that zone as well. So there's a lot of potential for some exciting gameplay to come on through. Alliance, though, they're going to be picking up Marco over on the edge of the zone. They do have AQE moving up behind them as well. So got to be careful. Don't get that surprise rolling in your direction. But I do approve of the Porsche here.
Hey, I mean, you said you wanted to see Alliance do something, and I definitely did that with Lollysoft getting himself 1 elimination this time around. So, and also not a bad entry point. You do have El Pozo east of you, so that could be a little bit of an issue based on how the circle does go for phase 3 and onwards. Which it does pop, and it does go. I can't see it yet. I'll wait a few more seconds on my minimap. It's slightly delayed. It is going to be shifting onto El Pozo. So now actually, Okay, this is kind of a worst case scenario looking at the side of Alliance because you're kind of being forced or into El Pozo or into the northern side, and I don't think they have too much information on who is located up there, so you have to make a decision. Do you go for the unknown in the city, or do you go for the unknown of the open wildness of Miramar? So, hey, Alliance, you got two options. Go for it.
Yep.
Send it. Whatever you do, commit to it fully with your entire squad.
Well, I also did see that NASA and NASA were having a bit of an engagement over on towards that far eastern side there. This is NASA Gaming up against the players there from NASA Esports. So either which way you look at it, Max, that play is out of this world, right? Quite a stellar performance that they bring. I was waiting the whole entire day just to say that. But either which way, here we go. As center zone is absolutely heating up. Look at that. It is just chaos. And Big Baby... oh, getting their pacifier taken away from them.
No, not the pacifier. What's going to happen? No. Oh, that's when they're going to go absolutely ballistic, man. They're like, you took my pacifier. I take your right to live away. That's very aggressive, baby. Oh, very scary with weapons. Where are their parents? I don't think that should be allowed. It's dangerous for everyone around them. But, yeah, go. Team Moldova also suffering some early casualties. This time, not because of a hot drop happening in Montenuevo. No. Have some later on casualties in this game. The Retro down on the lower side. Team Rain still. Actually, wait. Team Rain as a trio. Where's the other player? Am I blind or am I missing one? Wait, where is he? Wait, do they have 3 in this building or only 2? And I just can't see their final player on the minimap. I cannot see him.
They're just so well disguised that I also can't really help answer that question. But it does seem like all 3 of them are held up in that building or very, very close to each other.
Is it 3 in that building? Yeah, because I saw...
it looks like it.
Right, Grodex was very far away. So I'm like, is all Grodex is still very far out in the blue, or they do have 3 players in one building? So it might be that. No idea. We don't have time to see it. But here we go now over to the side of Evo. They spotted out the side of Alliance. I said they're going to have a really tough transition ahead of them. And they do make it across the road, which is a first step. They're in play zone. They can still hold on to that position for a little bit longer, maybe 20 seconds plus. But I don't think they're still going to be in circle 4. So they need to start thinking about the next step of this game, where you want to start to focus your attention towards. Because now these teams are going to have to start to get ready. Because I think that now we're going to have a big fight on our hands, especially if it does shift away from El Pozo. You got... currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in El Pozo. If it moves away, oh my goodness, DK, it's going to get real crazy over in that city.
Well, that would be quite exciting, though. I mean, quite a bit of chaos.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did also see that Team Moldova, they got hit by the side there of Vicious again. The second Miramar in a row. Ooh, unfortunate there, as we did see the players from first one, Romania, running into the EBL squad up on towards the northern edges of the zone. But now BLL, though, Max, they are still surviving strong, making it all the way up into this 4th phase. Can they get those sprays? Now trying to lock it in onto NASA as the rotation comes through. Ooh, Christie, though, getting spotted. Can they get the confirmation?
Oh, they're going to be looking for it. And yeah, Rexo will be the one to get it. As NASA, yeah, oh, that could be a very notable little shed position. But he gets punished as he peeks a little bit too wide in the open. And now NASA want to try and turn this fight on its head. Hopefully for Warriors, finally making it very fine to a game. But it seems like this is going to be the end of the road for 2 of their members. As Christian repositioning, trying to get some nice damage onto Bling, but it just doesn't result in the knock he was hoping for. And now Flux also going to be going far wide. What is that peak? You know a player's there. Why are you taking that risk so far away from the corner of that building? That is a very big head scratcher. So, yeah, for Warriors, at least Christian redeeming this somewhat in their favor. Can he actually go for the entire squad wipe, DK? And maybe recall his... Well, I keep saying recall. I'm too used to Rondo. Revive his teammates. Could be a possibility here.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely still bring them back up on their feet. But EBL, though, getting met there by Lollysoft. As the shots just rain on in. Beautiful placement from the nade. Now it is going to be the Romanian Evolution team holding up on the high ground. Again, this is a really good position, especially up towards the north with the number of teams they have surrounding them. If the zone stays north, this could be a prime position to try and play off of. But it is going to be a pretty tricky one to get a good angle in all directions. But here we go, though. Gypsy getting confirmed, and out they go. Now Lollysoft trying to see through the smoke, but unfortunately not having the right kind of glasses on here, as Rares is going to be rushing on forward. EBL full sending it, committing to that high ground position.
Exactly. Oh, I keep want to call him Gen Z Soft, not Genzo Soft. Seems like a funnier name to me, but yeah, Alliance definitely pushing up in style. I like this way. They're kind of forcing the fight by pushing from the west into the high ground position of Creative Fields, and it's forcing all these other teams like the Romanian Evolution are going to be having to fight the side of, I believe, the Eastern team. Can't quite spot their name. But basically, they're just forcing this fight to happen and just trying to claim real estate off the back of it. It's going to be against the side of EBL. There you go, that's the one. And yeah, they keep on clashing, and I think that Alliance here are right on the money with this game strategy. It's massively in their favor. Grodex, there we go. I knew a player of Rain was somewhere. It was Grodex. He was far out in the blue, and he's just barely showed his face in this game again, DK. He's getting involved, and again, as a solo, he's just popping off.
Yeah, Grodex deciding to go the opposite way, right? Who needs to stick to teammates when you can just go out and get crazy? As we know, soon see what Grodex is going to be bringing on through. NASA and a few other players all just hugging the edge of the crater, as the zone, of course, has shifted slightly more over towards the eastern side. So this is Big Baby and BLL finding themselves absolutely zone blessed right there in the middle. But that also means, Max, that the Vicious now have control of that full southern side of zone.
That is one bad sentence, DK. Putting the Vicious and control in the same sentence is not looking too good for the rest of the lobby, unfortunately. Having 4 players alive in particular is not looking too good for the rest of the lobby. And the only issue would be if they lose Narvalo on that split, possibly, but I just don't see that happening. I think he's going to be quite respectful of these other teams and not Podzo. Romanian Evolution finally going to get pushed up. And yeah, Alliance absolutely love what just occurred here. Pushing all these teams to fight each other and just picking up the pieces at the end, getting free eliminations and free control of the northern side. There's still some players of Romanian Evolution alive, especially in that church area, so you've got to make sure to clean up every single angle, or that can come and bite you back later on in this match. ZBL Black able to find himself one, so yeah, the fight keeps on raging. As Alliance now looking for a piece of the pie, will be pushing downwards onto this church area.
Yep, this is the fight that just keeps on giving. Now let's see whether or not Alliance can double down. I mean, I said I would love to see them just bring it in coming into this match, and it seems like somehow miraculously they heard me. Might be telepathy or something, right? I think if I thought about it hard enough, I could convey the message over to them. But now it's going to be EBL also potentially on the receiving side of the utility, as Keme just starts flying down the hillside, trying to evade the utility raining down on them. But again, such a tough position here for EBL to get any good angles from. But you got to watch out for Grodex, still continuing to push up from the side there, looking for a bit of an opportunity, bit of an angle to go through. But I like this performance from the side of Alliance.
You are their guardian angel. You say their name before the game, and they just obliterate everyone on like one cardinal position of the circle. It's a massive, massive game from these guys. And so far, good spread too. Lollysoft 3 elims. Fast soft, 1 elimination. Oh, the spray. Nice accuracy. It doesn't move too much, but he's behind that window. It's going to be very hard to actually make sure you get that knock. And he does get actually knocked himself right behind that window frame. CBL commit. Wants to maybe commit to it, but he knows that making that cross is going to be nigh impossible, so you've got to be careful. And even Alliance can't peek outside of this church too much. They're taking so much damage, and the moment this shifts away, which it should shift away from their location pretty much in the next 20 seconds or so, they need to start thinking about the next plan, which is eliminating EBL and then going for a wide eastern rotation. Going straight south here, in my opinion, would be a death send.
Yeah, I mean, because essentially they're to some extent kind of placed on a pedestal. Ooh.
Wait!
That's a big boo-boo. That was a big boo-boo there.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm sure you hoped you didn't see that on camera, but we did. It was spotted live on air. But it's not game over. He's going to get rezzed up by his teammates. So he should be fine. But
No,
not the
actually got
best way to go
confirmed.
out. He got
No,
confirmed.
he got
Wait,
confirmed
by
up,
who? I
yeah.
didn't see that. Who?
Yeah, there was I think it was EBL. I think MA came in through with a cheeky confirmation. Somebody got the confirmation. I think it was. It might have been MA. I might be wrong.
Worse.
Yeah. That was cheeky. Very, very cheeky. But yeah, the problem here is going to be, as you said, right, getting off of this position, because if it goes straight on down, they just essentially offering themselves up. Like, you know, right here we are. Just take us already. But, well, it doesn't seem like Evolution want to go down without a fight. EBL is going to be moving forward. We do see Grodex also just gatekeeping the edge of zone. So whatever is left up in the north here could potentially get picked up as they start to rotate on forward.
Yep, here we go. One play on the rooftop, and it's just not going to work out. And they're instantly in the car. They're like, we're not even going to wrap up this fight. We're just going to leave because that blue zone is ticking hard on circle 6. And they're going to go for, again, I said the best plan would be for them to go far to the eastern edge, not going in El Porto itself just yet, because if you can avoid it, that would be the better course of action. But even then, range, just not going to allow that rotation to happen in the first place. Really good execution, really good sprays from all these teams in this game. As now we're down to the final 9. Placement points are just barely going to start rolling in. And that's the issue with city finishes, right, DK? You make it very fun a game and you still have so many teams that if you go down too soon, you will get nothing for all your troubles.
Yeah, it's like coming so far but making absolutely no progress. Right? It's almost like that snail that we spoke about earlier, right?
Not back to the
Taking 90,
snail.
80 years to go around the globe only to find out that it's in the wrong place. Right? But we'll see what is going to happen here, as we do have the 4 warriors also then coming to the end of their play, as the Vicious help to take them out down to only the remaining 10 teams. We're almost in placement point territory, Max.
Almost. We're almost there at the finish. I mean, we are there. There you go, top 8.
Yeah, there we go. Woo.
Woo! Placement points, guys. We've made it. Yeah, Alliance still able to weather the storm a little bit further in this game. That's Grodex, man. This guy he is by far the sneakiest player in this lobby. I don't know what it is. He's just a sneaky little guy. Genzo
It's the
soft.
reign of terror.
Yeah, really. I mean, not so far silent terror. It will be very spooky very soon. Especially because it's got 2 grenades. And when you are hidden... Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, when you don't give your position away, grenades are always best because they just do damage while keeping your location completely hidden to your enemies. Grenade number 1 out of 2. Nice damage onto Genzo Soft. This gives information the player's going to be here, and he has the off angle. Fast Soft. Try and flush it out with the ASM Abacan. There you go. He's only got 9 bullets remaining, though. Gets back into hiding. But now... he's not hidden anymore. His location has been given off to Alliance, but can Alliance survive long enough to try and fight him back? I do not think so, as they're taking severe damage to the hands of Redox.
Yeah, that's, again, it's just that whole pedestal play coming into fruition here. Let's see, will this Molly close it out? It goes down. Is it going to find anything? Doesn't get the first, though. Oh, just narrowly escaping Lollysoft on that one. But for Grodex, I don't really see a way off of this hill. Right? There's no way off of this. And to add to it, the blue is going to start closing up in about 15 seconds, Max. So there's not a lot of time left for them.
I think the best course of action for him is to deny to blue. I would just... do not even attempt it. That is an impossible position when you have so many teams looking your way. Team Rain, though, making a move. Trying to send all of their teammates into position. Only Christian will make it alive. As Grodex is still on the other side of that road uphill. As, yeah, Christian able to find himself at least 1 elimination confirmed. So that's going to be a small win for them. The Vicious, man. 7 eliminations. You called it very early, DK, that they had that control on the southern eastern edge of El Pozo, and now they're just fully expanding upon that position, getting so many elims off the back of it. And now 8 eliminations and counting. And they have 1 position, Icy's position, actually in circle, so they already have that anchor point too. Everything is set up perfectly for possible Vicious win, which would make 3 on the day out of 5 matches. The average is going to be through the bloody roof.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be, but it's so good to see them just kind of inflating that overall position that they have there. We do see Dennis going down as well, so slowly the numbers are starting to dwindle down to only 12 remaining hopefuls to fight for that winner chicken dinner. But up comes the Vicious, and this is going to be absolute go time as they do find a little bit of NASA ahead of them. That is NASA Extreme, but it's going to be a full send here from the Vicious. They do get the hit on Mario. And now Luigi, nowhere in sight.
Yep, that's going to be it. Vicious 9-11. Oh, okay, that nade from Retro was perfectly thrown in the position of Vicious. Oh, Retro. Oh, okay. Retro kind of popping off. He's kind of clutching up against the best team in the lobby here. Vicious. Gotta be careful. We've got to give some respect on the name of Retro. Another bounce. I thought that might be able to get himself a third knock, but not quite. Able to go the entire way. Oh, he's trying to... These bounces are crazy. Oh, it drops down. He gets the knock once more. Retro is playing just an insane game of chess while everyone else is playing bloody checkers. He's got 2 more nades. Another bounce. Will it be enough to finally get himself that third elimination? It's looking good. Goes right to their feet. It does even get the knock, but he will not be able to live long enough to see that happen. Vicious did get the res onto Icy, by the way, with a first aid. But Retro, the outplays were just out of this world, DK.
Yeah. I mean, that was an absolutely insane strategy. And what a tactic, though. I mean, that was beautiful to see. But now... we don't have Retro here to bless us with their presence anymore. We are down to the final 4. We got Christian, the last one left for the side of Rain. We got Big Baby still rocking a beautiful 2-piece, 3-piece, yeah, 2-piece, there we go. And now it is going to be BLL. Max, I think this has so far been the best performance that they've had today, right? The final match for day number first is going to be the one in which they choose to potentially shine.
Would have to agree. BLL definitely stepping up, showing up big in match number 5 on Miramar. And also in the best position. All the teams are fighting on the southern, western side of the road. And they're just big chilling in this warehouse. But you got to be careful. These warehouses, the windows are in a kind of tricky position. You got to get upstairs if you want to use it to its full potential. So a crossing is not impossible, not out of this world, especially if you have some smokes, which I'm pretty sure Big Baby or Vicious have in their backpacks. Navallo, though, picking up a fight versus Big Baby. The smoke is going to be going wide and blooming. With that nade, he's got 7 grenades, man. He's going to be looking really good. Pushing forward even towards that ridge. He's really going on the aggressive side of things. And now he's prone. Second nade could be looking massive. It's looking pretty strong. Nice damage once again. Navallo being a force to be reckoned with. On the other side... his teammate trying to make that cross. But yeah, the nade is huge. And that's going to be Big Baby able to take the advantage now and forcing the Vicious to cross over the road onto BLL. And they are able to do so somewhat successfully. 2 players still alive. Barely escaping death. Redox will still be in this game. But for how long? And apparently that is not going to be a long time indeed. It's now down to just IC in a 1v3 versus BLL. And the 2 other players of Big Baby are now given a chance to make that cross and join the fight in the warehouse.
Well, here we go. It is going to be the few last moments here as we do say goodbye to the Vicious. Under the rug they go as Gasus gets the hits on in. But now it's going to be up to Struis and Baban to see if they can bring it on in. BLL, though, 3 eliminations up. All 3 players remaining have been able to contribute to the damage here. The Molly's now getting ready to be deployed. Ooh, it flies out, but it does overreach quite a bit. Not quite making its way on down. And that zone is just going to keep on constricting as we are all the way in stage number 9. Nowhere left to run. You're going to have to just keep on pushing forward. Those flames making the rotation quite difficult here for BLL. As Baban is going to be waiting outside. Gets the hit from the Molly. 1 down, maybe a few more to go. They do find Rexo. Oh, the hits are in and that's it. Big Baby walk away with the final winner chicken dinner on day number 1. Absolutely insane play.
For me, Big Baby played that crossing perfectly. Like, you couldn't make it any better because they were waiting for also the blue zone to force the entirety of BLL to be forced out of this warehouse position. And that just allows you to have just a meat grinder situation where you just go for these big pre-fire plays, especially with that Molotov that blocked out the exit point of BLL. And you're getting the easiest chicken dinner ever, literally served to you on a silver platter. So really happy with Big Baby's performance. And one of the big 4 teams you talked about earlier, right, DK, that is currently looking really, really strong. And you know what? That's going to put them even higher on those leaderboards. And talking about leaderboards, let's check them out to see how high that is going to be indeed put in Big Baby. And second place it is with their 65 points. A very, very top-heavy lobby, unlike what we had for Poland, right, DK, where it was just Moneymakers and GR Esports taking up all those points. Here, the top four have 87, 65, 61, and 50. This is a massive point sponge. No one else is able to win points outside of these four teams, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Alliance gain a few more points, right? They scored 8 additional points in this last game, just swapping places there with Romanian Evolution. But this has been an absolutely exciting match. Big Baby contributing so much. You can see 33 eliminations along a very consistent 32 placement points, right? Vicious, the only team that has gotten 4 more points than the Big Baby side. So a really good showing coming through from them here. And it's all going to boil down to what they can bring to the battlefield tomorrow, Max, as the top 4 are going to look to hold on to that. But we could maybe even see the 4 teams behind them look to double down and bring in even more aggression as they step into the final day of action.
Yeah, possibly. There's always a little bit of potential here. We are only at the halfway point here for the Romanian side of this tournament for the Always On event. But with that said, MVP of the day. I do want to say it might be Don, but let's check out the graphic to see who will be your MVP of day 1 here for this event. It is going to be none other than... Oh, it's going to be Redox here from the side of the Vicious with his 15 eliminations, 8 assists, and especially the 2,613 damage. I thought it might be one of the players from this team, DK, but Redox, of course, it makes sense. This guy is an absolute beast of PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, especially, you know, just reducing the opponents to dust. 2,600 damage. That is a big serving of carnage that we've been seeing throughout the day. But of course, the big question that we are going to look to have the answers to is, how is the rest of the lobby going to respond to the performances that we've seen here? I mean, the Vicious, they just stay true to their name, right? Absolutely relentless out on the battlefield.
I mean, can you even respond to the top of the leaderboards is my question, because they're such a dominant force that I think is again, hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby kind of situation is just very one-sided for this lobby.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it. And you know what? It's kind of they slap back to reality right now for the bottom of the leaderboards, in the sense of this is what the best players in PUBG Mobile Esports can do. And you're like, oh wow, this is a big moment of realization that we need to step up our game significantly if we want to be able to compete with them in the first place, which some teams are just at this point in time, DK, not able to do. But you know what? PUBG Mobile Esports is all about the long game, how you can perform better over the course of weeks, months, and maybe even years in some scenarios. But with that said, that is going to be the end of day 1 here for the Always On Romanian Monthly Finals Season 1. And DK, anything you'd like to add before we call it a day?
No, it was a super exciting day. Happy to see what the teams have been able to do, and we look forward to seeing you all back again tomorrow.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, DK. As always, thank you to the production team, the players, and you guys for watching at home. We'll catch you all tomorrow, same time, same place, for day 2 of the Always On Romanian Monthly Finals Season 1. Have a great one. See you tomorrow.